Blah, blah, blah. Hey, welcome to Full 42. Today we have our friend Sam here from Around the Stump Games, and you got a Kickstarter coming out. Is it Kickstarter? Kickstarter, right?
Yep, Kickstarter.
Yep. Kickstarter coming out. Crowdfunding coming out tomorrow.
Less than 12
so
hours.
We're going to talk about that. We're talking about our top 5 board game universes. The thumbnail says game universes, and by the time I realized that and Mike pointed it out, it's out there, whatever. If you're here for video game universes, board games are better.
That's a whole nother. I don't know. That's a whole nother topic, right?
Sure. It was a little weird because with video games, you kind of get to live in that universe a little bit. So board games are a different monster, right?
True.
But before we do that, we're going to do our usual.
Oh yeah.
How do you do and announcements and Luca paintings and being told to hold, but I'm not going to. I'm going to keep talking and talking about Button Kingdoms that's coming out tomorrow. We're also going to talk about Mike's game that's coming out tomorrow as well. That's pretty cool. Hope you guys won't clash really that much because he's on GameFound, right? Hopefully you can maybe crosstalk a little bit. That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
Hi to everybody in the comments. Everybody saying hi, hello. Kick the tires and is this a saying people say? Like the fires? Hey everybody. Lots of people. So how's it going, Sam? How's the nerves going right before the
It's going all right. Kickstarter's always stressful, right?
Yeah.
I had a full head of hair before my first one. I'm a little afraid what I'm going to look like after this one.
Well, I've pulled off a few crowdfunding ones myself, so this no, I was like this before. It's not that fault, but I mean, I'm surprised that you agreed to do this right before because I know what it's like before. You have 100,000 things to do and stuff like that. So hopefully we can take your mind off of it a little bit, relax, chill out, have fun,
and mean that I have another 2 a.m. morning this morning, or 2 a.m. night tonight.
I mean, I've gone maybe 48 hours before just staying up for Kickstarters. I've hit the launch button and then taken a nap. It's like I hope it's funded when I wake up. That kind of stuff.
Yep.
Of course, that's with teams and stuff like that helping. So lucky there. But so tell us. Tell us a little bit about what it's been like to get your campaign running. And so, by the way, the link to it is in our descriptions. Button Kingdoms.
Nice. This time it's been chaotic, just trying to get everything going. And the first time I did a Kickstarter, it was nice and chill because nobody had any idea who I was. So I couldn't get any content creators' games. So because none of them knew that they wanted the games until after it was done. And now I've got prototypes that I've been trying to juggle in the air. And then it's I got to take care of that and this and that. And then it's oh, well, I didn't do that thing on the Kickstarter page that I wanted to do. Plus, I'm weird. I like fulfilling my games very, very quick after Kickstarter, which means I've been trying to put all of the polish on the game before I got to Kickstarter because I'd really like to get the game to people in 6 months. So
6 months.
Yeah. I did Outrun the Bear in 7, and that was my first game. So I'm well, now I actually know the things that I didn't know. So I'm hopefully going to do that, but still going to ask for 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, Outrun the Bear was your first one, right? Your first crowdfunder?
Yep.
What did you do? If you had to point to one thing that you did differently or are planning to do differently for this one compared to that one, how are you going to try? What would you point to, and how are you going to try and kick a month off of it? What stands out?
So a big thing, basically communication was the time gap in there that I think I can cut down on. So I already, the questions that I had to ask before, I don't have to ask now. The other thing is I got all the templates and everything together before. So that's like what I've been doing the past couple of weeks when I'm not trying to build a Kickstarter page and work on building up the crowd.
Right.
I've been trying to prep all of those print files. Now it's not finished with the prep for that, but I've got myself like import templates and stuff. So that way I can just press a button and all of my print files are ready in like an hour.
Right.
So do you hope to be able to hit the button print the minute like you're good to go, or what are you going to do? You wait till the end of it, or?
I've worked out a deal with the factory to be able to send as soon as we fund, I can actually send them the files, and they are willing to do all the proofing on them.
Nice.
And that'll be early proofing. They'll kick that back, and then I'm going to run it through one more time because there's going to be some text changes, because that's going to be a way that people can contribute to the game themselves. It's like naming characters and stuff like that.
Ooh,
so
like
That's pretty cool.
So I do have to wait until after we're finished
Right.
with the Kickstarter before I'll have all of the final stuff. But they're going through and they're going to proof everything that they can and have all that ready. So hopefully the time from me sending them the check to them pressing print will be like less than a week.
Wow.
is the
I mean,
goal.
Kickstart pays 2 weeks after.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, so about 3 weeks after, they should be able
a week
to
after that. Yeah.
start printing my proof copies. And hopefully I'll have my proof copies in like 5 weeks, maybe 6 weeks from the end of the Kickstarter. And provided all those go well, and I only had to change one thing when I did Outrun the Bear. So hopefully like that tracks. I've got the guy who I work with at Gameland is absolutely fantastic on working with. So I think we should be able to be right there. But again, I'm asking for 10 months, not asking for 6. So
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Well, a lot of stuff
Right.
you can't predict, and things that'll come across. Like one of our containers got stuck on a boat in the Panama Canal because of water levels. Like shit, you just can't.
Yeah.
You can't predict, right?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Well, deep breath.
Yeah.
Relax. Just gonna calm down for a little bit to have some fun, hang out with some friends, and then you could go back to panicking.
Yeah. Should I not have just downed a triple shot Starbucks before I got came on here?
That's way too much energy for this show. You got to bring it down.
Yeah, bring your energy down. You might need it to stay up till 2-3 o'clock in the morning
Sure.
to dot your I's and cross your T's. But
Yeah.
So I'm doing everything out of order. We're supposed to do announcements and all that stuff. I just got excited because I love talking. You know how everybody does different stuff. Approaches things and their philosophies and stuff.
Mhm.
But that's not even what we're supposed to be talking about, right? So we
well,
have.
part of it.
Yeah, it is. And I'm also going to put you through the lightning round, the grueling lightning round. We haven't done that in a long time. I don't think we've done it this year, have we?
Not this season. No, not at all.
Yeah.
I think since I started watching, you've only done it twice.
Okay. Yeah. We need to get
Started
back on
watching
the
a
ball
while
with that.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, if you think about it, at the beginning of the year, Scott was our first real guest.
You're not counting Daryl?
New guest. No,
Okay.
no. New guest. Like we
Real
had the
guest.
unknown folks on, but Scott was our first new guest this year. So
So let's go ahead and announcements. I know we got some announcements. I mean, obviously, we've got 2 Kickstarter and a crowdfunding happening tomorrow.
Yep.
Both of those links are in our description. So that's major announcement there. Anything? We'll get into the details of both of those actually just after this. So anything else that you want to talk about announcements? Either one of you?
you can go. I got a show and tell, so I'll let Sam go first.
My announcement would be for this show. My in-laws are building their apartment, and so you may hear construction noise. I apologize.
That's fine.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we've all been guilty of noises coming from other side. I have a cat that tries to tear down my door sometimes. I don't know if anybody hears it because of my directional mic, but
I was also feeling really good about my background because like Mike's frequently in the kitchen, and then Mike goes and he's in his game room, and I'm like,
It depends. I mean, lately when I'm in the kitchen, the kids are causing absolute chaos, as you've seen on the show multiple times. And it really, I have gone back and watched. It isn't as bad as it is when you're living it. Right. But when I have the opportunity to come down, like the kids are upstairs, but when I have the opportunity to come down and not have the hijacking by a 3-year-old, I think it's a little bit better.
A little bit.
For me, not for you guys. I'm sure.
Yeah, I think the audience is only here for your kids. Like,
right, I believe it.
Yeah, so
soon they'll take over. I'll just do nothing. It'll be great.
In my defense, Kickstarter is the verb for crowdfunding.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Kleenex or what are the other things that people use as,
Q-tips.
Yeah.
Q-tips. Yeah. Google.
Yeah. We had a meeting.
Everybody uses Google.
I forget. It was a couple years ago, but we were instructed to not specifically call things Kickstarter exclusive, to call them crowdfunding exclusive. And part of the reason for that is if your game does find a foreign publisher, the stuff that you put as Kickstarter exclusive is technically Kickstarter exclusive, and they don't use Kickstarter. They'd use something else that they have, and they wouldn't be able to carry over. So the reterming of it to crowdfunding rather than Kickstarter, because Kickstarter is Q-tip and Cotton Schwab is Swab. I don't know why I added an H. That's the platform, right? Crowdfunding is the Cotton Swab. Q-tip is the brand. So
yeah.
Okay,
so before your show and tell, my announcement is that I want to walk back. No, it's not a bug. That's never been a bug. That's something Eric came up with.
No, Steven, I thought.
Or Steven, yeah.
Because you saw a bug one day. That was your announcement. You saw a bug. So now, we expect a bug.
Okay, yeah, that's true. I started that. That's what I get for talking about stuff. So my announcement is that I want to walk back a little bit of what I said about Iridia. Have you remember my rant about? Now, I'll stand by my rant about walkthrough things where instead of reading the rule book, you have to play the game in their own little thing. Like Sleeping Gods does the same thing. I haven't seen that ever work. It's miserable the whole time. However, I played afterwards now. And Iridia might be the best version of this type of game ever. You really do feel like you're playing in an open world video game.
You're not going to rant about it on Wednesday on the rundown?
Oh, I'll still rant about the walkthrough. Okay. Because that's still awful. But I played a little bit more of it, and I was, very, very happy to keep playing and stuff. So if you know how upset I was about that walkthrough and I still want to play, that's how good the continuous play. Unfortunately, everybody has to go through the walkthrough. Sorry about that.
Have you since been able to put all the stuff that was outside the box in baggies back in the box, or is it still?
Yes. Once you play throughout the walkthrough and stuff, you know what is superfluous, what is stuff you can open for the most part and things like that. And you find more areas to stuff things. It's just before you play at all, there's nowhere to put stuff because you don't know what to open and whatnot. So I can walk that back a little bit too.
All right. I still haven't opened mine. We're going to play it in April, though, yeah?
I'm not bringing it.
I have mine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, bring it.
Can you play it even though you've played it?
That's a good question.
God damn it. Fine.
No. I mean, I can, but I'll just know what's happening, so I won't make decisions. I'll just play with you. I'll go with what the group who's new to it does, right?
Okay, fair enough.
It's kind of like if you're sitting there playing a video game with someone you've already done before, you kind of let them guide, right? So that they have the experience to do that. Okay. But, yeah.
Nice. Deal.
All right. Yeah. Eric wants dibs on that one because it was his idea.
You can throw in Gammas next week.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the other announcement, right? With
Yeah.
our whole Gamma.
Yeah. Are you going, Sam?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was 669 Around the Stump Games, and I'll have my buddy Ty McDonald, Sentient Games. Eventually, we'll probably merge if we ever get to that point. But We're still too small for us to combine our resources.
Was that whose booth you took over in PAX? Didn't you say?
That was the Indie Game Alliance booth.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So that didn't take over. Helped them run it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But I didn't mean take over, but you were helping run it. So yeah.
Yeah. Essentially, Matt Holden, who runs the Indie Game Alliance, was really sick, and I've done a few shows with him, and I've been Outrun the Bear's been the highest selling game that he's had in the booth at the last 2 Gen Cons. So I had already paid for everything. Like I paid for everything really early, and he was like, I just can't make it. I'm too sick right now. He's like regular doctor's visits. So he's like, if you want to run it so the people who got it can be there, do it. So I'm like, yeah. With a week's notice, I will bump my flight up a day early and go buy a whole bunch of tables and throw everything down and do what we can.
Nice.
So,
yeah, we've talked about it. And obviously, you're on the show, and this is pandering to the guest, but we've talked about for those that haven't heard me talk about it or watch any of those episodes, Outrun the Bear is fantastic. Outrun the Bear has got that element of you're literally trying to outrun a bear, and it has this big bear on the board that is trying to basically eat you, and you're moving your way through these paths like kicking out somebody's foot so they're behind you and you're trying to get out ahead, and you really feel the tension of this big, I wish I had my copy like here, this big bear coming down on you like he's ready to get you. And it's one of those elements in games that just it stood out the first time. We have a mutual friend, John, who's local to me, and he brought the game to my attention. And we played it, I think, at Tabletop Day 2 years ago. And I fell in love with it immediately. Like that bear coming down the track and moving, like massive move. Yeah, like you feel that thing on your butt ready to eat you. It's amazing.
There's you compared to the bear.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That bear's a little bigger than it should be. I guess. Are you a kid?
That was a kid, but the adults are not much larger.
No, they're not. It's like a regular size, like cardboard cutout. Not huge, but it's not tiny.
Well, yeah, you should have seen the original bear. I actually
You have to dress up as the bear.
Yeah. Does John still have it?
Name's slipping my mind. Somebody with the 3. Yeah, John. He has the original bear.
I gotta ask him for it.
So I met them on their honeymoon, which was at Dice Tower West.
Which John are we talking about?
John, he's local to me. You don't know him.
Oh, okay.
Well, he's regularly in your guys' booth.
Yeah, he's helped us out the past couple of times, but Chris hasn't been to a show that John's at.
Okay.
He was at Gen Con last year. He helped us at PAX, but Chris wasn't there.
So we met at Dice Tower West. They were on their honeymoon, and they sat down and played the game. And I'm just like still prototype stage. And at that point, the bear was just like giant like this. And I forget what it was, but he just sent me an email one day, and I'm like, dude, I'm sending you a prototype of the game. I'm sending you one of the original prototypes. You've been so encouraging. Like you were one of the first fans of the game. So he's got the big old giant
cool.
thank you note. And yeah. So
it was probably his copy that I played at that tabletop day, because it was just the way the mechanisms worked in the game. Like it was very intuitive. It was quick to pick up. You felt the stress of the bear breathing down your neck, and he just moved like he got on you. It felt really good. It was really fun.
Yeah. But it was literally 13 inches tall.
It's huge. Even the regular one in the game, like it's huge.
Yeah.
It's a huge piece. It's really good.
Very cool. For the next show on Monday, that's when Gamma's happening, right?
I'll be traveling on Monday. And Sam, we're not that far. I'm in 649, so we're right on the same aisle. I'm leaving Monday morning, and I'll be there till Friday. And then the booth, it's weird with the booth. The booth is like 2 to 6 on Wednesday, and then 10 to 5 on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever. But we'll be there. It'll be fun. I got some shit to show off. I'll have some new prototypes, like updated prototypes of the stuff that I've had. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Cool.
Yeah.
That means, since you won't be here, and I believe that means that we're not having a show on Monday, right?
It depends on what time I leave. Like we can make the call when we get closer, but I'm planning on it's about 10 hours with stops, like
okay.
Stops.
Well, if we don't show up on Monday, don't freak out. We'll back.
We'll post about it.
We'll post
what time I leave, because then I got to get checked in and get the internet and make sure I have a strong connection and all the other bullshit.
Very cool. You have a show and tell?
Hey, Kabuki.
Is it whatever you're eating?
No, they're just.
Because you should just shove more of that in your mouth while you're talking to us.
I'm trying to eat through them now because I want to get rid of them. They're just fruit snacks. They're good. No, I got an updated. I got the new version of a game that I adored when it first came out, and I got the new one, and I wanted to show it off.
New Monopoly version?
It's a new Monopoly. Yep. It's a brand new Monopoly version. Did you see they have Monopoly expansions now? I'm not kidding.
No, really?
Yep, they have, I think, 3 of them. I don't know what size they are, but they're little expansions for Monopoly, and it adds like a sideboard to like next to the jail corner. Kind of think Talisman, like how they put those corner pieces around the board. Like it's got something like that to it.
So what, you go to jail, but then you beat up people in the yard and you make connection and you come out.
Mm-hmm. You start monopolies on gums, gum and cigarettes.
Cigarettes. Yeah.
There's a whole other board here. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. That's true. It's coming. Player 3. Player 3 for Eric and for their game.
Congratulations.
Business partner Nick is also expecting. So I got it's an older game. It's called Medieval Academy. We've talked about it before. This is the new.
That's why I haven't heard of it.
Medieval Academy. So instead, they had the square boards, and then you're playing a card, and the card, like if it's a red 3, you're going to move 3 on the red track. Like it's super simple the way it works, but you're drafting the cards, and you have to decide like what tracks you want to push up on. Who else is also pushing up on that track? Can you beat them in that track to get the most points, or is it not worth it? You got to abandon the thing. But they made it into one board now instead. And the board has the different tracks that you're playing on. It's super, like, it's 8 and up. I don't know why they have a solo version. Whatever. It's a quick game, and it really is fun. Like, it's a good intro to drafting, like the drafting mechanism. You can focus on the drafting and figuring out what you want to keep and what you want to pass along based on the board state. And then all it is playing. You always have choice. You're never like burning through all the cards in your hand. So even when it comes down to the last card, you have a choice. But you're trying to figure out what track you play the card and you move up on that track. Like super simple game mechanisms, but a really cool intro, and it still has those choices you have to make along the way. So it's by Blue Cocker. But yeah, I would, if you can find this, I just saw it just came out recently. It was supposed to be out like 2 years ago. I think its publishing date is 2023. And it just came out like the end of last year. So
I noticed at the bottom of that box, like if you show the bottom part, not the back, but the bottom, like if it sits on it, there you go. That they have the UPS code and all UPS UPC code. UPC code at the bottom and all the like boring stuff at there. And I've noticed that on a few more. Yeah. I'm really liking that trend because it really opens up the back of the box for full marketing and stuff.
Yeah, they even put the components on there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, taking that off gives you more room on the back to advertise for whatever you need to.
Yeah, I'm really liking that trend.
I love this. I love that more companies are doing this. The 1, 2, 3. They even add a 4. But I love, like, when you read this, you're like, oh, like, it's maybe not for new gamers or new to the hobby, but as gamers, when you grab, like, this gets you, so you flip it over, and when you look at it, you're like, oh, cool, I kind of understand how it works, and that could be a game that my group likes. Like, putting the 1, 2, 3 on the back is just...
Yeah. I did that to the back of the newest Troubles box, I think.
Yeah, it's a good one. Also, I like that depending on the strength of the card, the art is different. So like, wait while I open.
Monopoly side games. Ticket to ride from railroads. Power grid if you land on a power company.
Oh God.
That okay? So you land on Reading Railroad, and then you have to go play Ticket to Ride.
No.
And whoever wins that gets the property, and then you go again.
No.
That'd be funny.
All right. So what? Another thing I like in games, like technically, when you play a red 3, you move up 3. If you play a red 4, that's one stronger than the 3. You move up 4, right? So what they do is here's
That's
the
how
2.
numbers work.
That's how numbers work. That's the 2. So you can see how he's it's the low. They go from 2 to 5, the value of the card. So you can see how he's a little timid. He's behind his shield, right? But then if you get to the 3, a little bit bigger, and now like there's the dragon.
Oh, that's neat.
The dragon's off in the background.
Yeah.
But then you got the dragon right there.
It's really cool.
But then you get to the 4, and it's like on him, ready to fight. And then the 5 is just awesome.
Okay, you need to get 2, 3, 4, 5, and put them next to each other, and then run them across the screen real fast so we can watch the animation.
So it looks like, yeah. Yeah, they do them all. Like every one of them is really like, here's the 2 for the books, like the knowledge section of the thing, and you notice how all the books are on one side of the table.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you get to the 5, the candle's down, and all the books are on the other side of the table.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like that kind of thing really, like, it's not necessarily thematic, like I get it, but that kind of thing really gets me in games. You can tell that they pay attention to detail with those little things that happen. I love
storytelling, right? And
yeah,
it's awesome storytelling.
Yep, it's like
I did that with Zozomos.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I said I did that with Zozomos.
Yeah, yep, with the bottles, the way the bottles were fuller, and yeah, absolutely. I love that stuff. It's the same thing when we're reading like graphic novels, right? Like it's text limited, and you're taking a lot of information from the pictures, from the images in each of those panels. It's just it's just better. It's better. So yeah, that's my show and tell.
Nice.
I recommend the game. I think it's super fun.
You got a Luca painting for us?
It's also super light. I do. I'm gonna do 2 of them tonight.
One for Mika.
So you're gonna pick which one you think. I mean, you could also look at them like, what the hell's wrong with my kids, which is fine. But I'm gonna ask you which one you think is Luca and which one you think is Mika. For some background.
3-year-old and 1-year-old, right? Or 1.5.
Actually, Mika turns 2 on Friday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yep. So Luca's 3. Luca's been doing this for 2 years. Mika's now joined him and is painting along with him. Literally at the table, they'll paint together now. So every now and then I'm going to throw in a 2-shot, and I'm going to ask you to pick which one you think is the more experienced painter and which one is the newbie.
All right. We're also asking you what you see in each one, sort of like a Rorschach test.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And just for this, I like to torture Mike by making him the big guy.
Thanks a lot. These are both, I don't know why I did the dates different on these, but these are both done the same day. And now the fun is covering up the name so you don't know who it is. All right, so here's number 1. You ready?
Yep.
And then I'll show them both together. But I'll show you one at a time, and then I'll show them both together.
All right. I like the colors.
I love the colors.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want us to talk about in comments, can talk about what we see in that one?
You can, or I can show the other one, and you can figure out. I mean, you could, whatever you want.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that one first.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see, Sam?
I'm focused on what appears to be some sort of reptilian character down in the bottom right-hand side. I'm not sure how he caused the destruction that's off behind him, but it is definitely. You know what? No, it is Godzilla having just run through Tokyo. So it was really quick. So the neon is all still exploding and colorful back behind him. But yeah, that's what I see there.
Impressionist drummer, Woody Woodpecker, or mantis shrimp. I see. Okay, this. How do I explain this? I see a superhero who has turned into a giant wasp, and is now turning on the little dragon buddy friend who used to be his friend, but now he's an enemy. So the little blue guy in the right is his little dragon buddy.
Okay.
And the big red thing is his wasp body. And the yellow is his face, and the green is his superhero mask.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm sure everybody saw the same thing.
Yeah, I know. I saw the exact same thing.
Laughing Blue Jay.
Okay.
The green dragon is eating a fireball from the blue dragon in the corner. I like that one. Yeah.
Nix, that's good.
Giant red cloud minster eating a frog whale while being watched by a tiny lizard king.
That's extremely specific.
That's a story.
A frog whale?
I think Di actually had a better story than I did.
I think Di's taking Dave's medicine.
Monster, not a minster.
Okay.
Although now I want to make something called a minster. All right. You want to? What do you see, Mike? Or do you know what he was trying to draw?
No, there was nothing they were looking at. I see something not necessarily Pokemon related, but some sort of Pokemon-ish fight. Like there's this thing throwing this thing at this thing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Also, I get to play around with this one because the glue on it.
Oh no.
Right. But remember how we talked about how maybe taking these off and doing something with them rather than them being on the frame? So I get to play around with this one. So that's one.
All right.
And this is two.
Oh, that's dark. I know what I see. Let's see if anybody gets something nice.
This one was definitely easier for me to figure out what was going on.
Yeah, that's a heart being choked by thorns.
Ooh.
Okay.
That is a heavy metal album cover right there.
Oh, you know what I see? The first thing I saw was a shrunken head. Right.
That's what I got. Yep. Same.
Yeah. But what if it's instead like a giant head statue that has fallen underwater, and that green to the right of it is a mermaid that is
or Mera or something. Yeah. That's a good one.
I made it less dark.
That's pretty good. And yeah, just a decapitated head, but yeah, less dark.
And a shrunken decapitated head.
Sure. Demon rat. There you go.
A bleeding strawberry. You mean a squished strawberry? It's bleeding green. A chia head. Oh, yeah. I can see the chia head. Those are colors. Demon rat.
Okay.
Not much story on that one, Di.
Yeah.
The other one had this whole big story. It was like, it's a demon rat. Mantis eating a liver.
Oh, wow.
It's funny how a little bit of brown just turns something Christmassy into horror, right?
Yep.
A bronze mask rusted, being overtaken by trees and brush. That's cool.
Wow.
A green ghost is manipulating the heart of a pure person. That's dark.
I just want to go back to the album cover that I saw because I hadn't actually noticed this detail that I saw early on. That is specifically a yellow rose with the thorns choking the heart. So it's very symbolic with the yellow rose being a symbolism for friendship. So it's about a bad friendship.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is yellow rose a symbol for friendship?
Yeah. So
okay. In Texas, it's a symbol for a prostitute. There's this whole story, the Yellow Rose of Texas.
You have there, Chris.
There's this whole story, the Yellow Rose of Texas. And like when Santa Anna was fighting against, we were fighting against Santa Anna to get freedom for Texas and all that stuff. They sent a prostitute named Yellow Rose to go be with him and collect information. She was like a spy. The more you know.
And no idea why you live in Texas.
Could be worse. You could live in Arizona like me.
See, it's Yellow Rose, Texas. Could be nice.
I guess.
Yeah, it could be worse.
That's Chris's next game. It's going to be called Yellow Rose.
No one's done it.
It's true. Probably a reason.
All right, so now we need to guess between the two.
You need to tell me which one you think was Mika and which one you think was Luca.
What do you think, Sam?
I think Mika was the first one.
See, I think the bright colors make you think younger, but I think Luca's been doing more longer lines and stuff like that dark one in the first one. So I think Luca's the first one.
See, you're going off of what you know of the artist. I was just going off of that the second one really feels sophisticated to me and what it was saying there. I'm just reading too much into the picture, maybe. But no, the second one I felt was like high quality, professional years of training art.
Oh wow, the entire history of the Yellow Rose thing is being told by Kabuki here. So yeah, there you go. You can read that in the chat.
All right, we got Die with Luca number 2. Kabuki and Nix think Luca was first. And we're saying this one was first, right? This is the first one I showed.
Yeah, that's number 1. Yeah. Some people
And
say
Sam,
Luca number
Sam's
1.
going Luca here and Mika here, right, Sam?
Yep.
Okay, Chris, what are you saying?
I'm the opposite. I'm saying Luca first, number 1, and Mika number 2.
All right, and Alicia's saying that number 1 is Mika as well. So overwhelmingly, Mika.
I don't know if it's overwhelming.
Well, 1, 2, 3.
Kabuki. Yeah, we got Luca here. Luca. Yeah.
Oh, Luca number 1. Luca number 1.
It's pretty well balanced.
I guess it is.
So the important thing is, which one is it?
All right, you ready?
And what do I win if I'm right?
Nothing.
Oh, well.
Ready?
Yep. We can only see the middle part. Yeah. There. Hey, I better get it right. I've been watching this kid paint for like a year and a half.
But I will say, if you look at a couple of Luca's recent ones, they're more like this. They're more color over color than they are this way. And there's some of Mika's that are this way. So I was really curious that they came out this way because they've actually been painting the opposite for a while now.
Yeah, but I think Luca's been exploring the canvas more instead of staying right in the middle.
Sure,
Like,
sure. Yeah, he likes to paint over where I put the name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. There's today's
Nice.
with the double.
Nice.
That's what I got. You can take me off now. There you go.
Boo. Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants that.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, that's not right. What has happened?
You fucked
You
it
did
up.
something wrong.
Nope. I just moved your picture. To
There
the
we
front.
go.
There you go.
So what happens when you push buttons?
I didn't push anything. I slid your picture to the front.
By the way, like and subscribe. I got to put that in a better spot.
You say that every week.
Well, I've done some changes recently. Here, like this is in a better spot.
Much better. Yeah. Yeah, much better.
Used to be here. That was no good.
No. Did you
That's not
change
as-
the numbers, or are the numbers going to be front and center when we go?
I
through
did
that?
change the numbers. You'll find out.
Oh, look at you.
Man, look at me. Okay, so let's get back to our guest with a little lightning round. Fun, fun, fun.
All right.
So if you haven't seen the lightning round because we haven't done it in a little while,
Done it in a
as
while.
we talked
Yeah.
about earlier. I'm going to pull it up here. I should probably have had this already set up. Oh, I did. I just turned it off. I'm awesome. All right. So we're going to have you answer a quick lightning round here. We say quick, but I don't care if you want to explain your answers. That's half the fun.
It's a
but-
called a semi-lightning round.
Yeah. So you're either going to answer yellow or red, and that's going to take you down a huge tree of who knows what you'll be asked. But at the end of it, you will be told what fictional character you are most like. No one's ever argued against it. It's always true.
So
I'm not sure I want people knowing this.
It's and it's part of coming
I
on.
need people to still like me before my Kickstarter tomorrow.
This could turn a lot of people from
Yeah, it's just going to derail my entire journey in the board game space.
be ready.
I am curious if anybody follows along with you. Like, where do they split off in the comments?
Mm.
All right. So the first one, divisive, Euro or American board games.
American.
Ooh, that was pretty quick.
Yeah.
Now,
I
honestly,
like Euro games, but the heavier theme, the leaning more into the theme, the bits of chaos and just more interaction between the players. I've come to understand that for me, games are about socializing with the other people at the table, not about multiplayer solitaire puzzles. So I am just full tilt American.
Nice.
But
Very cool.
I really like Euro games if I'm playing them on the computer. Not so much if I'm playing them on the table compared to the alternative.
All right. Yeah, I like the explanation, and I like the boldness of exactly what it is. That's very good. Yeah, you could.
Clearly.
All right, so we're going red, and keep me honest on the colors. So sometimes I mess them up.
Every time you mess it up.
Sometimes I mess it up.
At least once.
Sci-fi or fantasy?
This one's harder. So much harder. I'm going sci-fi.
Okay.
Though, if I was to choose between Star Trek or Star Wars, it's going to be Star Wars. So that's more on the fantasy side, but I'm so close to the middle there.
Yeah, I was about to ask because sci-fi, if you think of Star Wars, it really is fantasy in space, right?
Yeah.
Sci-fi is usually some sciencey talk with it and stuff. So that's interesting. All right, so sci-fi, you say?
No, I said sci-fi. I don't know why my wife was feeling betrayed when she just walked by.
So you say sci-fi. We're going yellow, right?
Yep.
All right. If it ends up to be a character that's not like you, you know where you went wrong.
Okay.
It was that specific answer, yeah.
Sci-fi should have a hyphen. Now. No argument. I just go, nah. Super intelligence or super strength?
Super intelligence.
Yep.
Yeah. The practicality of super intelligence, if you're going the full super level, means you can also have super strength. So super intelligence is just more well-rounded because, like Iron Man, super intelligence leads to super strength.
That's interesting.
I like that.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that reason.
Are you getting heckled in the background on the show?
Yes. This is my wife here.
I love it. That might be our first heckling.
Would correct his wrong opinion about Star
Okay,
Wars.
all right. I like it.
I like hearing the opposing opinion.
You agree with my opinion.
I love it. I think this is our first live heckling on the show.
That's great. That's great.
I love it.
Next one. Boba tea or slushy?
Sushi. Or slushy. Slushy. I thought it said sushi at first. I am dyslexic, but slushy. Yeah.
Okay, I still want to make sure that you can change back now that you know it's slushy.
It's still slushy.
Oh, okay.
Boba tea is just low on mine. Yeah.
Not a sushi slushy.
Oh, God. No.
Try saying that fast.
Ugh. That's disgusting.
Slushy. Is it because you don't like the little bubble, the boba thing?
Yeah, they weird me out.
Yeah, same here.
Tapioca.
Tapioca, yeah. Well, we lost Michael.
That's hysterical.
All right, next one. And we went red, yes. Have to end every meeting with I love you or start every meeting with high fives?
I almost accidentally do end every meeting with I love you, so I'm going with that.
All right. Awesome. I think most people do the I love you, and I really think that's because our industry is full of awesome people.
Good people.
Speak any language or speak to animals?
Speak to animals.
Oh, I thought you'd be going speak any language with the whole super intelligence thing.
Speak to animals has animals are important, and we can't speak to them at all. You can figure out a way to speak to other humans. You just can't figure out a way to speak to animals.
That's fair.
Yeah. So once again, it's still more well-rounded, I feel.
Missing an E. It's I'm being edited as we're going.
I love it.
I'm
This
missing
is great.
something.
Dan's getting heckled. You're getting grammared. This is my favorite episode.
All right. You must watch every show others recommend or never see recommended shows.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Ooh, got some possible.
Oh man, this. I watch a lot very easily, but I think that means I'm going never see recommended shows because I'm also very opinionated about what I watch. I'm one of the guys who disagrees with some of Chris's opinions on shows sometimes.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna start recommending every single show so you can't watch anything.
Well, that's why. Okay, that's fine. I could live.
Yeah,
with
don't let your enemy know.
It just increased my imagination. Me not being able to take in other media, I'd just be forced to live with my imagination.
All right, we're going red. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Small neck tattoo or full ass tattoo. Something I like to call the ass tattoo.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, no, this has been here for like 6 months and nobody's hitting it yet.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Just a small little neck tattoo or bam.
Well, I think the implication is what's less visible, and I think for that I'd have to go with the small neck tattoo.
What are you doing where the other one would be more visible?
I'm a manual laborer.
Well, there you go. You can make it Kilroy where he's like doing this. So
oh my
God!
God.
Every time.
Oh, I don't want that in my head. I don't want that image.
I have a tattoo gun, by the way. If anybody,
Yep.
So we're going small neck tattoo. Yeah. Awesome. Bonus points. What's the little net tattoo you would get?
Oh, I don't even know. I'm just not a tattoo person.
Get the bear.
It's not small.
Well, make it small. I mean, not the 13.
If anything, you should get a button and make it look like it's sewn on.
Yeah, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's cool.
Have your life in sound effects using a tuba or a slide whistle.
Oh my God.
The slide whistle seems better comedically for me. I'm already kind of a loud person. So,
are you a klutz though?
No, but the tuba would increase the intimidatingness that I can come off with.
Depends on what they do. If it's dun, 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 every time you walk, then it's it becomes funny.
That is true, but I think it'd be more frequently end up comedic for the slide whistle. I'm a bigger guy.
Slide whistle it is.
Slide whistle could be funny.
A salesperson comes to your door. Ignore them or send them away.
Ignore them or send them away. I've talked to them.
Well, let's assume it's something you don't want and you know what it is before you.
Yeah, I would send them away. It's polite.
Okay. I tried to send somebody away the other day, and he just kept talking to me with a big, creepy smile. And I was just slowly closing the door, saying, "Thank you." And he's just like, "Don't you want to talk to me?" Like it was so creepy. And when I close the door, I have a thing where I can see outside my Ring cam, and he just stood there going, and then he walked away. I was like, "Okay, cool." Solar panels. Not that I don't want solar panels, just not from the creepy guy. Okay, so you went with send them away. Oh, we're already here. That was quick. So science will tell us, unless of course you were wrong about the thing back then. One caveat. Science will tell us that
I wasn't wrong with.
Okay.
Fantasy.
The fictional character you are most likely as, I never remember what these are. Boba Fett.
Wow.
I'll take it.
Depends on what era is up to you.
Okay.
Malevolent, bounty hunter or?
No, we'll go with just after Django died.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Dark times. Okay.
Yeah. Got it.
Orphan Boba Fett running criminal rings. Yeah.
Boba Fett tea. That's funny.
Yeah.
Actually, the picture is from the Boba Fett series. So
Yeah. You see the yellow.
yep. Little thing. All
What
right.
a great series that was.
It was all right.
There were a
See?
whole episode he didn't say.
I like
a
that.
word.
I disagree with Chris on every entertainment.
I didn't say it was bad. You disagree that it was all right, or you think it was like
I
which
thought it
way
was
do you
good.
go? Oh, okay.
I really enjoyed the Book of Boba Fett.
My sense of it got tainted by what I expected beforehand.
Yeah.
I expected it to go one way based off of things I read about it and stuff like that. It was totally something else. So I should go back and rewatch it again, knowing what I do.
Early on, Dances with Wolves was really cool for me. Dances with Wolves on Tatooine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that part. Yeah.
Yeah. The only part that I waned on was the modders, just because it felt out of place, specifically on Tatooine. But
The what? Oh, the bike people.
yeah,
See, I like that as an idea, but it felt weird, kind of inserted in. You're right.
yeah, on Tatooine.
Yeah.
Just why are these guys on Tatooine?
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
You were okay with the riding the Rancor?
Oh yeah. No,
I mean, that was the best
all
part.
good with that.
Were you okay with Chrysanthemum running into the mountain for no reason?
I don't remember that.
I know that's your favorite part, Mike.
I can't get over it when they're like, "All right, you're good to go," and he was like, looked at him, and then he just ran off to the side, but he's running into like a sand dune. Like, there's nothing there. What are you doing? It was so dumb.
Yeah. Well, he just had to run off camera.
Now I forget. Did Grogu have to make his choice between the Mandalorian armor and the lightsaber?
Yeah.
In the Book of Boba Fett? Okay.
Yeah.
So that got me super excited because my wife, when she saw it, she responded with, "In my mind, it's the Jedi who are evil."
Nice.
That's
Wow.
interesting.
Yeah.
Perspective.
It was just so sad. All of a sudden, Luke's like, Sophie's choicing Grogu.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's too bad because he would probably be a happier person as a Jedi, I think.
Grogu would?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's pretty happy riding around in the spaceship.
Yeah. No, he's loving life.
He's very
There's
happy.
a difference between having a fun childhood and learning to be a happy human being, or being in this case.
Sure.
Adult being eventually, all that stuff. Like, what is he learning to do? To just be some guy that just trucks around the galaxy and captures people in carbonite? Like,
So my feeling is Grogu is actually the Mandalorian.
ooh, that's interesting.
So and that goes all the way back to the original Darksaber, and the story with that was this Mandalorian who became a Jedi and then went back to Mandalore and brought the Mandalorians together. So yeah, I really want Grogu to be the Mandalorian.
Huh.
That's kind of cool.
But
Yeah, I like
with the
that.
name of the new movie coming out, it's kind of clear that he's
Speaking of game universe,
Right.
yeah, we're so far away from that. You're right. We're getting sucked into the whole Star Wars universe. That is a black hole we always get
That's
sucked
a
into on this show.
danger
So.
zone. It is a danger zone for sure.
So that was a lightning round. Before we get into the top fives and stuff, I do want to talk about both your games coming out. Now, we've talked about Mike's game a little bit before. It's kind of like Tales of Arabian Nights style game, right? It doesn't play exactly the same, but it's that style, right?
God, no. That game is trash.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, I've said it before. The idea behind it was to make, because Tales of Arabian Nights has a good idea, but it nothing connected. Like, your choices didn't matter. Like,
Right.
from the beginning of the game where you picked your skills to the choices you made on the Matrix. Matrix was a good idea, didn't connect to the story.
Yeah.
So we set after doing a game that was connected, a narrative game that was connected in Greek mythology. We all have a love of Greek mythology. Keith, who's one of the co-designers, has one of his masters is in antiquities. So he loves that stuff. And I think the game, I mean, the right people are behind it. Van Ryder is doing an amazing job from what I've seen and what I'm not allowed to show and what I can maybe sneakily get away with because the game does launch tomorrow. I think there's about 16 hours from now it goes live. So whatever the math is from we're doing this live, it's 10 o'clock real time Eastern, not Chris's fake time. And Sam, you're an hour behind Chris then, aren't you?
Are you Central, Chris?
I'm in Central yet.
Yeah.
The real time.
Yeah, I'm Mountain right now, but we're Arizona, so we don't observe daylight savings time. So right now I'm an hour behind Chris.
That's right. Okay.
And in a month or so I'll be 2.
Okay. So yeah, it's 10 o'clock Eastern. It goes live in 15 hours or so. And I did send Chris a couple things.
You did, and I'm looking for him and can't find him.
It was on Facebook.
There it is.
There you go.
Oh, no, I found the wrong thing.
For those that are watching, you'll get a little bit of a preview. I don't think I'll get in trouble for showing these.
You better hope not, because Michael's in the comments.
No, it's nothing to do with 3WS.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, then you're fine.
I should be fine.
Okay. So let me share it. I'll just share them in the order you gave them.
This is hysterical, too. Alexander the Great is the bear. Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Great. Michael, tell on me. That's awesome. Yeah, I think I met with Julie last Monday when I showed you some of the stuff that I was allowed to show, and then with the game launching tomorrow, there's the base level, and then there's 2 expansions, and I think these are the images from the 2 expansions.
Yeah, keep talking.
You can find them.
Yeah, I have them. I just putting them together.
Or
this
actually,
is
I don't think they are from the 2 expansions, because expansions are basically heaven and hell. There's Olympus is going to be an expansion with some characters, and then there's going to be Tartarus, which is the hell expansion. They're not called heaven and hell; they're called Olympus and Tartarus, and they each have minis, and they have narrative, and they have unlockables. But yeah, it is Alexander the Great is in the game. Like you're a character that's coming from nothing, and you're trying to build up your legacy while Alexander hears of what you're doing. Yeah, there's Hercules. Yeah, with the Nemean lion. It looks so
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's the mini, right?
That's the mini of Hercules. And then the art, you should have the art for it too. So the art is done by Miguel Coimbra. And if you saw the cover of it, it's just stunning. It just looks so damn good. Yeah. Yep. Oh, it looks so good.
And then who is this one?
I forget. I gotta look. I forget the name.
Nemean lion?
So yeah, the Nemean lion. That's what Hercules is going after. So she is it's Rhea. If you're familiar with Greek mythology, that's Rhea riding a lion, a badass lion. Yeah, the art's just killer.
That's cool.
Looks so good. Yeah, and the mini is fantastic. Like there's a shot
holding on to his hair.
Yeah, like the rain. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
There's a front shot of the lion's head with her riding it, and just a look on the lion's face, like they just nailed it. It looks so damn good. That's
pretty cool.
Yep. Awesome. Battle Cat, yeah, that's Cringer without the battle armor. Yeah, so I'm super stoked about it. I can't wait. It looked so good. Rob teased me. He sent me a message. Julie's husband sent me a message a couple weeks ago, like a teaser, where he had the box in his hand and he was making some components for the prototype. And he sent me a video of the character board and how how you're going to set up your character in the beginning of the game. Kind of, if you think of like a tech tree, you're going to have to start. You're going to have a couple things you can pick from, and like left, middle, and right kind of thing. And you'll be able to pick from 3. And the one you pick from that will give you an option of 2. And then what you pick from that will give you your third option. So you have some choices in what you're doing, but then you're setting up like kind of who you are and what you're going to start doing when the game goes. And then you're going to be going to these locations and making choices and hearing narratives and making choices. And then the choices you make are based on how strong you are and the certain levels that you're going. So it's all connected. And then there's, the story takes over and Alexander's stuff, and it just looks so damn good.
Cool.
Yeah, there it is.
Go to the link. Go follow that one.
How many? 12 hours. So just under 13 hours.
Crazy.
So that's what, 11 o'clock tomorrow.
Oh, you jumped up in followers too. 5,251. That's cool.
Yeah. Awesome. I mean, it's Van Ryder. I mean, people. It's what they did with Final Girl being a solo game and the records they broke and the components that they did, the quality of the stuff that they've done. Like this was a no-brainer to leave it in their hands. And their love of Greek mythology is also poured into this. Julie and her father shared a love of mythology. AJ, this is one of his dream projects, was to work on a Greek mythology, Tales of Arabian Nights type game. So it just fit really well. So
cool. But
it goes till the 13th, March 13th. I know Bobby, Keith, and I are going to do something towards the end of the campaign, like a Q&A and how did it come to be and working on the project and stuff like that. So I'll have more information as we get closer, but I can't wait.
Cool. Yeah. All right. And that's launching tomorrow, 13 hours from now, basically. And then we have this launching as well. So just to hit your wallets as hard as we can.
That box cover, I remember, Sam, you sent that to me months ago. I love that box cover. I love the white. I love the pop of color. It's so neat.
Yeah. I was really inspired when I first saw Flamecraft's graphic design. And so because of that, I actually hired Manny Vega as the graphic designer in the rulebook, but he wasn't involved with this box cover. So this box cover was just inspired by him. But yeah, Ilya has been absolutely fantastic with everything. But I'm trying to send Chris an image here because I think we have a crossover in our 2 games, a character crossover.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Our 2 games?
Yeah.
Get out.
If I can remember how to quickly export something.
We could show it a little bit later too if you want. Once you get it to me, right?
Yeah.
This is also true. It's a good point by Eric.
Yeah, it looks really good. Who's the artist?
His name is Ilya Selenikov. So this, I don't think he's done another board game. This was his first board game. I found him I found him on Instagram. So he does a webcomic series called Drimm, DRIMM. It's about this teddy bear that goes around, and the child that he grew up with is now grown. So the comics, like him fighting off the darkness as she sleeps, still looking over his now grown child. And it was just this really cool kind of gritty stuffed animal, stuffed teddy bear. And helped me overcome the theming challenge that I was having, because originally Button Kingdoms was Merc Kingdoms with just this generic fantasy theme. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really want the game to have in the end. So he was absolutely fantastic to work with. He did some really cool stuff, and I let him have the reins, really. I was like, here's the very simple 2-line explanation of what I need. And he just kicked out awesome work.
Nice.
So yeah.
That's fun. Okay.
Yeah,
Did you get that? Get the image you wanted to share?
I thought I did, but I am not seeing it here. So
we can,
it was just a joke. I've got there's a character in the game referred to as the Steed that is a wiener dog that has a stuffed cat sitting on it with a spear in its hand. So
almost in the same position. Yeah, that's
yeah.
funny.
that's funny.
So
Cool.
but yeah.
All right. So for those that don't know, no, you put that back up, I think, or maybe not. For those that don't know, what is Button Kingdoms? What can people expect?
So Button Kingdoms, it is a bribery-based deck building game. So it's a big twist on the deck building genre, and that it's the cards have no set cost on them. Instead, other players are setting the cost on the cards. So you do this while also having simultaneous play. So there's this blind bidding mechanism where every player on each of the 3 cards available in the market can say they want to buy that card, they want to boycott that card, or they want to sell that card. So then once they all do that, you flip them over and see how the market reveals. So like I mentioned earlier, I've come to appreciate games more as a way for the people at the table to interact with each other. I'm not super inclined to the multiplayer solitaire puzzles. And deck building, well, I really like the mechanism, has a lot of multiplayer solitaire. The market phases, they're just not super engaging between the other players. The only thing that really comes up during those market phases is like, oh, I'm disappointed that they bought the card that would be perfect for my engine. But I never had the opportunity to. So I tried to overcome and solve that problem by giving all players equal opportunity to the cards in the market, but also do it in a way that's very, very engaging between the different players. I was really inspired by Dune, the original Dune board game. So I had somebody describe that game once, or it was like a YouTube video. Somebody described that game once as, if you ever want to know what an incestuous oligarchy would feel like, play Dune. Because everybody's just constantly paying each other, and like this whole circle of the economy going on there because of the different abilities in the player interaction. So I pulled from that a little bit and started looking into a lot of heavy player engagement while also being high strategy games when I was developing this early on, and that's how I came up with Button Kingdoms. So once I finally figured out how to retheme it so it wasn't something that was generic fantasy, it ended up being this.
Nice.
Very cool.
So the world of the game is, a lot of people think you're playing as stuffed animals. You're not actually playing as stuffed animals. So you are one of 8 neighborhood kids who have built this imagined world that you all have together. Using the things that are available to you, which is your stuffed animals, your pets, your treehouse. And so you build this imagined world, and then you're all playing in that imagined world. So all of the art, like you can see the 2 levels there. It's like what they've imagined into reality, but also you can see the real world influence on them. So they see the jungle gym, and they also see it as being a castle. They see the dog that's in dragon pajamas, but they see the dragon with fire breath. So, yeah.
I don't know what does this go like Bridge of Terabithia. I never saw that movie.
Read the book. Don't watch the movie.
Fair enough.
Read the book. But yeah, same thing where they imagine a world, right? They see a downed tree going over the river, and it's a bridge going over the river. Like that's
Cool.
Like they imagine, they use their world like kind of AR. They see the world, but they see it the way they want to see it, right? The castle, like you said, the jungle gym. Yeah.
Imagined reality.
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
IR.
Yeah. So
that's really cool.
Thank you.
Well, good luck on the campaign.
Yeah. Hopefully tomorrow goes well.
It goes live tomorrow.
Yep.
What time?
7 a.m. Eastern time. Or no, not 7 a.m. Eastern time. Whew.
Other way?
That'd be really early for me.
That'd be super.
10 a.m. Eastern time. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I think an hour before you.
Okay.
Or no.
Yeah, my time.
9 a.m. Eastern time. That's right. Sorry, I'm getting confused because Eastern time I'm used to being 3 hours ahead of me, but it's 2 hours ahead of me right now. So,
right.
Yeah, I am pressing launch on 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And
So in 12 hours.
What time zone that is for you?
Right. Yeah, it'll be 9 Eastern, 9 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
Good.
Less than 11 hours.
Good. Oh wait. Okay, 11 hours.
Yep. Yeah.
So tomorrow morning.
Yeah, tomorrow morning.
Whatever that is
Good
for
luck
you.
being backer number one with that description.
Yeah. Be up at 5 o'clock in the morning, isn't it?
Waiting. Just wait. Refresh.
I've
Sam will
got
still
a
be
friend in California who has backer number one on his project. So I think he's gonna try to be backer number one, but he's in California and he also works late at night. So
Yeah. That's right.
You're gonna have to be up at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
There is a weird thing about like on Tuesday, I get a lot of notifications whenever things launch, right? By stuff that I've backed before and things like that. So there's a weird thing I see like early in the morning, a bunch of them, and then kind of silence for a while, and then they all hit again around noon. And I wonder what are people's thoughts on why launch in the morning versus right in noon and stuff like that, right?
Kickstarter just released some interesting data on that. So peak Kickstarter traffic, I believe they said was 4 p.m. Eastern time.
Mm-hmm.
Is just the hour that they have the most traffic. 4 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesdays. So there's like two schools of thought. You launch right when peak traffic's going to happen, so you get as many people as possible in the first hour, or you launch earlier on that day and then you try to get as much traffic as possible, or then you try to have hopefully funded before you've got that peak traffic, and then everybody's like, hey, what's this new project?
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense because I mean, if you wait that long, then you might only get the peak and not all the stuff before, right? And I wonder how big that peak is. Did they say like, is it? Oh, we get
Yeah, they gave
200
times.
people at the peak, but 185.
Their information was so mildly helpful. They're like, launch on the first Tuesday of the month. You'll do better.
Yeah.
That was it.
Okay.
Ending in the evening. Yeah, that's the other thing with ending a campaign. Like, do you end it midday? Do you end it in the evening? All that stuff. I prefer evenings just to give everybody time to be like, oh, I forgot. And,
Yeah, people getting home from work or, getting settled after dinner and whatever. Because you got the first 48 and you got the last 48. And the people are getting their notifications. And then you got to kind of hammer them when they get that notification. But you want to have that window open for them to be. Like if you're ending it at 9 in the morning and somebody oversleeps or gets hit with 12 inches of snow on the way to work and misses like they do their kickstarting at work.
I think most people do their kickstarting at work.
That's why 4 o'clock is interesting. That last hour of work time Eastern,
right?
They're trying to bury themselves into something until 5 o'clock.
Probably, I bet you there's a bunch of people coming in the morning too. That time. Okay, I got to work. Let me spend the next hour or so on YouTube and whatnot, and emails and stuff before I actually start to work. Yeah.
Well, and we're talking about it from a North American perspective. 4 o'clock Eastern is right around 9 o'clock England, 10 o'clock European PM.
Wouldn't it be 7 or 8 England from Eastern?
No, I think they're like Ireland. I think is only 5 hours ahead of us in New York, and then
really.
Yeah,
Britain is 6 hours ahead of me, so
5 hours ahead of England. Yeah,
okay.
Or 5 hours ahead of Eastern.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it's five-ish hours around England, Ireland, and then it's 6-ish in Italy and Europe areas. So that's also another thing. Like it's later at night for day one in Europe, and we do get a lot of European backers. So.
None of this is remotely interesting to anybody, probably. So,
I listen to podcasts about this all the time. I find it fascinating.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. But people showed up to hear our top 5 game universes. So why don't we talk about that? Well,
Oh, we
some
can.
people there.
Might as well.
All right. So, like I said at the beginning of this, the title says top 5 game universes. I meant board games, but yeah, I saw.
4-day work week. Do it. Make it
I
happen.
meant board games, but we didn't really talk about it other than that title. So if you guys went off board games, that's fine. I can't help it. But did you?
I went board games.
You only did board games?
Only board games.
Okay, cool.
I only did board games, but I can only think of 4 off the top of my head. So,
well, you just steal one of ours along the way.
Yeah. Well, I could throw a video game in there. Who knows what I'll do?
Yeah, there you go.
It's game universes. It could be either.
Yeah.
As per usual, I have mine in order, and I assume, as per usual, Mike is cheating and just has a list of random things in front of him.
I do.
Okay.
I do, but I have a caveat to my list, like my focus. I stayed away from major IP.
Oh, I did too.
Yeah, no Batman, no Marvel United, none of that stuff. Like to get in, like living in the Marvel world. No, I stayed away from that. A little bit of a caveat, but I'll talk about that when I talk about the game. And then I talk about it so much, so I left Spellbound off the list. The one by the Lamont brothers with those cool looking books and the witch and the troll and everything. I left that off the list because I think that would be fun to live in. I'd probably die, but I think it would be fun to live in because of the whimsical nature of the world that they created. But I talk about it so much, so I left that off the list.
Okay. Any caveats you had, Sam?
Very similar to Mike. IPs that were from outside of games just completely off my list because that's really the difference between game universes to me and themes. As one IP and then 2 just themes that are more generic or more tied to real life in general. So both of those got cut off my list, and I just remember
both of those as well. So it's interesting because we didn't talk about it, but also there is like I didn't know how to interpret it. Is it a universe you would want to live in? So a universe you want to experience in other medium? Is it that kind of thing? I went with experience in other medium, like books and series and movies and stuff would be awesome from this universe.
That's cool.
I don't want to necessarily live in some of these.
Sure. No, it's interesting. I didn't think of it that way. I thought of it more of as like a visit. Like I'd want to go visit there, like go vacation in this place or go visit this place. Not necessarily live in because I wouldn't want to die, right? Like living in certain areas, I'm probably not, unless I get the magical genie that's going to give me the equipment needed to survive in that world. These were more, I just want to visit. I want to maybe a week's vacation or something.
Yeah, I didn't go off of living my life and dropped in the middle of that universe because that would be kind of tough. But I did think that would be an exciting universe to live in. Being more tied to it a little bit, with one exception there. Of course, I'll get to why I think it'd still be cool to live in when I say that one.
I'm pretty sure I would die in most of the ones I have on my list here. So there's one I might want to live in. It's my number 1, so we'll see.
You're going to die in the universe you live in anyways.
Sure.
That's fair. I mean instantly. But that's also fair. There is also something interesting here, like Elder Scroll, Skyrim kind of thing is a game universe. It comes from video games first, but I considered those as IPs, and I guess technically you could argue that they're not outside of the game universes, though. But my list didn't include anything like that. But it is interesting that that's still a game universe.
I would have put Horizon on there, and Horizon would be an awesome universe to live in, but didn't put it on my list.
Yeah, there are a bunch of games in that universe. Yeah. Well, I would pick Oblivion over Skyrim. Skyrim's too cold. All right. So let's talk about our number 5. Who wants to start with your number 5?
Either
see
Sam,
you guys.
why don't you start?
Excited.
So which one of these should I do as my number 5? You know what? I'm going to go with the. I do feel it's interesting to talk about, but I am actually going to go with the Catan universe. Now, the reason why I'm going with the Catan universe is the Catan universe that I see in existence, looking at it from the outside, doesn't have the problems with colonization that people that have with colonization. So the Catan universe, to me, what I see there is you have just a procedurally generated world out in front of you with your islands. So you are the first people on those islands, no matter when you're getting to them. That is the real ideal of a frontier. And there is something cool about living in a universe that is a frontier. There's a reason why that's a very romantic idea in people's minds. It's the exploring style of universe.
Yeah, I could see it like a series, like when you watch westerns and stuff like that, or even things where they're building new towns and things. That could be interesting. Now, to live it, I definitely don't want to live it, but I would die of dysentery or whatever comes up, you know. Yeah, I realized quickly that our banner was covering half of it, so you know, we're learning.
But it is nice. I mean, I agree. It is nice.
It's out of the way.
It is. It doesn't cover up my face. I'm sure you're miserable about it, but
Yeah, the one downside to the Catan universe is it's very RNG whether or not the land's producing what you need.
mm-hmm.
There you go. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, it is. And famines like every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
you
get
go
a thief
through a
running around.
10-year famine.
Cataniverse.
So if your number 5 is the Catan universe, does that include the Game of Thrones version of Catan?
I don't know.
That's the Catan universe, right? If it's in that it's technically a game in that universe.
I think I'm looking at the island of Catan universe.
I don't think that's in the universe.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, I have a Catan 7 Wonders board. That doesn't mean all of 7 Wonders is now in the Catan universe.
Though, if we go with my theory that the world that Catan is in is a procedurally generated, endless, flat oceans with islands in it, then eventually it is endless and infinite.
Right.
Every possibility is in there.
Sure.
So your number 5 is everything.
I guess so.
Fair enough.
Well done, Sam. Well done.
All right. I guess I'll do my number 5. My number 5 is it was actually really hard for me to put these in order because I think these would be all they're almost equal to me, but it was barely. It's such a slight ramp. So my number 5 would be Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Oh, you would die. You'd die immediately.
Oh yeah. I'm dead in that picture. That snake bites me immediately. Look, he likes bald heads. He's gonna get that guy right there.
Yeah, you're
This
dead.
guy right here. I die within seconds. But I would love to read books, watch shows, movies, or series. I mean, like we have all kinds of different series and stuff now. Why don't we have anything that's like Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that be a great series, like a hopefully more than 8 episode series or something? I would love that.
Yeah, or an 8-episode series and then give us a couple seasons.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other thing is it's not just like Indiana Jones because it has these big, fantastic creatures and monsters and stuff involved. Mm-hmm. So, and you have a group of people here. If you look at the expansions, which is really great, if you've ever put the expansions together, the front artwork always blends into each other, and it's really cool to look at. But you know, you have all these different characters and stuff from it as well. So, who doesn't want an awesome story and universe and stuff to dive into. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
That'd be
that's
neat.
number 5.
Nice.
They only get better from here. That's how lists work, Mike.
No, they're all good. They're all good.
Oh.
Like, I don't know where I want to go first.
Eric, is it open world or do you just go from chapter 1, chapter 2 kind of thing? Because I don't want to play chapter 1, chapter 2 games anymore in video games. Anyway,
I heard
open world only for me.
All right. I don't know how I'm going to do this, so I'm going to start with the oldest one on my list, and there's tied for 2. So I'm going to go with Seasons as the first one I'm going to talk about.
Oh, you stole one of my honorable mentions.
Ooh, too bad it wasn't on your list. I love the whimsical nature of everything that's in this world. I mean, it looks pretty, but the creatures that are in it, the characters, the treasures, like it just seems like this super fun, fantastical world. Where I guess in Chris's head, this could be like there'd be a series here. You'd have the big bad, you'd have your characters, you'd have your side characters. Like that. I want that to be a thing. That has to be a character.
It's like an evil Mushu.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I love this game. I think it's such a fun. It's just a fun game to begin with, but the art is so stellar in this one. And I found out when I was looking up. So this one came out in 2012. I looked up the artist for all of my games, and the designer of the game is credited as one of the artists. There's 3 in this one. And they're credited as the designer and the artist, one of the artists. But I don't know who did what. There's Regis, who's the designer. There's Xavier, and there's Stefan as the artists. I don't know what Regis did. He was the designer, but they're just beautiful, beautiful pieces of art in this. Like that's adorable as hell.
Mhm.
And the dice are amazing. Yeah. The game's fantastic. If you haven't played the game, play the game. But
it's a great game. It's hard for me to get a table because it's got a little bit of gotcha in some of those cards, and my group doesn't like it. But they don't like the gotcha part. Otherwise, they like it. Yeah. But, yeah, it is a great game.
Yeah, everyone has to take a card back to their hand or whatever it is. But I love the seasons. I love how the year works. I love how the dice are asymmetric. And you're leaving one of them or more of them out of the game. So you're not necessarily not playing the same game twice. And then depending on what's left over, that thing is moving. So you might not have the same color when it's your turn or even the next turn. The game is it's so much fun.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, just the creatures that you could be and stuff like that. I am really surprised they didn't do more with this entire universe because they have this gorgeous artwork. Make some card games. Reuse the artwork. I don't care. I want to see them again on other cards and stuff. Like, do something with this.
They have 2 expansions, and I have yet to play with either of them.
Same.
I just keep playing the base game because either I'm introducing it to new people or it's tight the way it is. Like, it's just fun. Because it also is this your first time? Cool. Play with this run of cards. And if not, then you could play with these cards that you left out. So even in the base game, you're playing with a certain set of cards for like first timers or just getting used to the game. And then you're trading out some of those cards for game cards that you didn't play in your game. So even that's got another level of replayability. And then you have the expansions, but the game's fantastic.
So what I'm hearing, Mike, is you'll teach this to me since we've never actually played a game together?
I would love to. 100%, yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, this is a good one to play.
I could bring it to Louisville. Not that we're going to have time to play games. I mean, it's chaos to begin with, but
yeah,
better to have it and not need
it. We won't, but we could hope.
Yeah, absolutely. In between my bourbon shopping, that's going to be done while I'm there. Maybe I'll find a way to play a game.
Yeah, this one's 13 years old too, and it still has strong mechanisms in it that still work very well today.
A lot of stuff, right? You got the limited resources; you can only hold so many, but then you have the cards that'll let you hold more, or it's got the trading mechanism with the ingredients, and it's got the transmuting or whatever. It's got the way to sell the resources for more points, and it's got the variable, like depending on the season, what's popular or not, and the ability to draw new cards. Like everything in it still sings. It's still a great game.
Nice pick. Good pick.
Yeah. I only pick good stuff, Chris. I don't know why you sound so surprised. Like I usually pick shit, and this one was like, wow, Mike picked a good one this time.
I'm sure you always pick great ones. It's just sometimes not to my taste. This one is.
Or to your ears because you don't listen to me. And you actually listen to me on this one because you like the game.
What?
Exactly.
Sam, your number 4, please.
Number 4. Okay. So my number 4 is going to be the King of Universe or King of Tokyo.
Oh, that's fun. Kaiju stuff.
So the way that I see this universe, because, you know, I'm trying to remember, but I can't recall there actually being signs of humans fighting back against these monsters. So I think for some reason, the humans are all fine in this universe as the monsters are fighting together. So if you were a human in this universe, I think you just get to see monsters fight with each other in the middle of your city every once in a while, and you're just entertained by it. So yeah, that'd be a fun universe to experience if you just get to observe monsters fighting each other in the middle of it. Or if you were a monster, like it'd be a fun universe to be one in.
Maybe it's just a bunch of monsters fighting in the city. I do like that they added all those other characters, right? Like they had Anubis and they have Cthulhu.
Oh, I guess some humans do have problems.
Yeah. I was going to say, this would be you.
Just don't join the National Guard, okay?
Yeah.
These guys right here would be you, and then that guy is me.
Yeah.
I have seconds to live in this universe as well.
I couldn't remember that.
Or this is bad. Just
is that bad?
Yeah.
I don't think that's bad.
They don't see what's behind him.
He's just saying hi. He's friendly.
Yeah, you could be safe there.
He's about to give the one with his back fully turned to him a big old wet kiss on the.
Right.
Funny. I don't think I ever saw that card.
That might be. I don't think that is a new one.
Well,
but it's in the new version.
It's got a nice. Maybe it's a new one. It's got
because I still have the old version. So
yeah, sure. Or the After Dark version.
Yeah, have you played the dark one? It has this kind of cool. It has a change in mechanism to where. What was it? Oh, if you get all 3 ones, not only do you get 1 point, but you get to go up this little track, and you get every other time you get a special ability card.
Oh, cool.
So it's kind of keep making you go, I'm going to keep the ones. Kind of like you keep hearts whenever you don't need that many hearts kind of thing to get the power cards.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's a fun one. If you're a big kaiju fan, then you're going to be watching a series if there's something going on there. And so I wouldn't live there, but yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so my number... What was that?
That's a good pick, Sam.
Oh, it is. So my number 4 is going to be stealing from Mike, more than likely. It was already mentioned in comments. But it is... I'm going to specify a game, but there are many games in this universe. It's the Arzium universe by Red Raven Games. Mm-hmm. Is this not on your list?
Tis not on my list because I knew you'd talk about it.
Okay. Being tricky. Islebound specifically because I love being out on the water and stuff. So traveling to different islands and seeing the different worlds and stuff. Sleeping Gods almost. You get hurt a lot more in Sleeping Gods. And this one, I guess I'd rather watch Sleeping Gods if it was a series, but I would rather live in Islebound. So, but yeah, I mean, it's all in the same world though. You're always running into frog people, or you are a frog person, or robots, or that are like clockwork robot things, or I can't remember all the different races. I think there's like an alligator one, something like that.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
There's cat people, I think.
There's golems.
That's the clockwork. Oh, here we go. Yeah, there's bird people. Fish people. Yep. Mm-hmm. So it's just a fascinating world. I think it'd be a fun series to watch. I don't know if I'd want to see it animated so it has his kind of style, or if I'd want to see it in real life. I'd probably want to see animated, I think.
I'm surprised Ryan Lockett hasn't already made an animated series with all of the talents that he has behind him.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how he has the time to do all the stuff he does, right? There you go, frog people.
There you go.
He clearly has 10 times as many hours in a day as everybody else.
He has like that Twilight Zone stopwatch that stops real time, and you could just do whatever you want for the Lands of Arzium. I got the role playing game not because I think I'm going to play it, but just because I wanted all the lore and stuff that you can get from that.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, I've gone through it and said, I mean, I might play it sometime and stuff. It's hard for me to get away from my D&D stuff. So, but yeah, I really wanted just like all the cool lore and stuff for it also. Yeah.
Ryan's amazing. And every time I see him, I tell him like the ability to create the world and design in that world and do the art in that world and do, like all the things he does. I know he takes on other things like other people are helping, but he's just like someone said in Kabuki said machine. He's a sweetheart, but he is a machine. Amazing person.
Yeah, Empires of the Void is in the same universe, just in the future, which is amazing because you still have the same type of characters and stuff. Great game too.
I think the only negative thing that can be said about Ryan Lockett is he gives everyone imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Stop working so hard.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it's probably one of the biggest universes in board games if you don't count IPs, because of how many games he has in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I mean, once you create an RPG, then you're taking it to another level because you're adding in so much stuff into that world that now has to be considered, and that's not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Empires of the yep. But yeah, that's my number 4.
Good pick.
What you got?
You might not like me for this one. Both of you might not like me for this one.
Nope.
Oh, I could just keep going in order.
No, do the bad one so I can be mad at you.
No.
It's no fun if I don't get to yell.
Wait, I got heckled. Chris got grammar checked. I think we need to have a reason to go after you, Mike.
We need it.
I mean, I don't. It might. If you only have 4 though on your list, Sam.
No, I've got 5 now.
Well, it still might take one away from you.
Go for it.
No, I'm gonna wait. I said I would do them in release order, and Seasons was 2012. So I'll go to my next 2012.
So he's using an order. I guess that's something.
Yeah. Right. It's that game right there.
No one can see. You're tiny. Fantastica.
Fantastica by Alf Siegert. It's an older game. Came out again in 2012. This is quite literally a fantastic world. A fantastic a world where real art. So artists, if you look at the artist list, there's 7 of them, but they include Monet and Van Gogh. So there's this art that's in public domain, and they made this game with these elements in it. And it just looks like I would not do. What's that Wizard of Oz thing that was there? That was weird.
I don't know. Maybe they're saying it's connected because of a witch, and now there's bunnies here. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's put up here. And
interesting. Yeah, Rado has a thing in there. So there's 2 versions. There's the Enchanted Edition, which is the thick one, and then they made a Rucksack Edition, which is a thinner box for space. But you're just going around this land, different areas, trying like Alice in Wonderland Tea Party kind of thing, where there's these creatures and these things you have to do. But all of the art is art, like it's actual art. So in my head, the art has come to life. So the stuff that you've seen in a museum on a wall, like these famous paintings or whatever, they all exist now, and they're in this world, and you get to live in there for a little while. It's dangerous. It's not all safe, but it looks like it'd be a lot of fun. Like there's some fun stuff in there that could be like if all art is real, like comes to life kind of thing, then like you see some cool shit.
So what I'm hearing is this is a Blue's Clues spinoff.
So where's Waldo?
No. Yeah, I mean, yes.
You're jumping into the painting world.
Yeah, I guess I did never think of it that way, but now I will. Yeah, you jump. The beginning of the show would have you jump into a painting, and you're living in that painting for that episode. Yeah, that works.
Didn't they do that in Mary Poppins too?
It's been a while. Probably.
Anyway,
Seems like a movie they do it in.
I thought they like raced horses in a painting and danced with penguins or something.
I don't.
All right, we're going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it seems fun. It seems like a fun world, and the idea that the art is real, right? Like when you go there, though, like some of this stuff is not real. The mischievous raven is definitely real, but yeah, all those different like you have your token and you're moving around, going to different areas to do a thing and to collect enough stuff to do the thing. Like it's not a complicated game. I just love the fact that they created this world using real art, like art that actually exists, not art that was made by somebody for the game. The art was there and they made this world out of it, which I think is neat.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, pretty cool.
Have either of you played this game?
Yeah, I have it.
Good one. It's fun.
I don't honestly remember the mechanisms of it, and I played it twice, I think, but I haven't continued it. I guess it just wasn't to my flavor or whatever. But I did like the look of it, and so it was really cool.
It's like there's a threat, and then it needs like 2 pails to defeat or whatever, and you have your cards, and you're trying to use the cards to defeat the thing.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. It's been years. It's been years. Like I probably got it, I don't know, 2 or 3 years after it came out, so it's been a while.
Yeah, so it's a decade at least.
Yeah,
I haven't played mine in a while either, but
very
I
cool.
recommend it. It's a fun one.
All right, Sam, what's your number 3?
All right. My number 3. I don't know which one of these should be number 3 or number 2. I guess number 3 will be Cloudspire, the Cloudspire universe. I'm putting it number 3 because of my fear of heights. That would definitely be an issue living in this universe. But floating islands. What's better than that? Really nothing. And then the idea that you have races on all these different floating islands that are bumping into each other is also very fun. So, yeah.
That's really cool. I've never played this game.
Trying to collect the ether that keeps the islands all afloat and is the main resource that everybody's surviving off of. It's a fun idea of universe.
Mm-hmm.
And could definitely be something that I could see other media made up for that universe.
For sure.
They like to talk about how they were inspired by the MOBA genre, and it looks like media spun off of MOBAs does well. So
yeah.
No, I
That's
think Cloudspire is a cool universe.
I've never played it before. I've seen it a few times and wanted to get into it, but I haven't had the chance to.
So this is one of the games where that made me know that production value means my wallet just drains. Yeah. It's I walked through PAX one year and I saw it there with all of their stands, and every day I kept myself from purchasing it until the last day, and I'm like, it just wasn't possible. And then like the thing weighs like just too much.
Yeah, a lot of chips in that one.
Yeah. High quality chips. So whoever asked it is a chip theory game, Eric.
Yep.
No. Yeah, it's beautifully
and also, the production value on it is why I went with Gameland in the first place for my first game. Was just like the production value on this is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But we're talking about universe, not production value.
I used to run a role-playing game where it was kind of, the Sliders show where people would go from one universe to another. I made this real, actually my brother made a real simple narrative-based role-playing game. And so I used that system so I could just make up the world every time they came back to play. And one of the worlds they came to was a floaty island world. And they were on an island with like 100,000 people in a city and stuff. And the bad guy was trying to steal the magical gem that kept the entire island floating.
Mhm.
And so they had this big battle and everything, and defeated the bad guy before they could grab the gem and saved 100,000 people. And then then the tunnel thing opens up and they go to jump out. And one of my players was the last one to go, reached up and grabbed the gem and jumped.
Oh,
And I had plans for them to come back to that world, but he destroyed an entire world basically.
Yeah.
And he never told anybody. He hid it away, and then because the gym had like a magical powers and stuff like that too. So, and it totally surprised me. But that's what made me think of.
So you've really got my gears spinning now, because Sliders RPG just sounds amazing, or a multiverse RPG, and the implication of running into yourself in an RPG or just in a game in general. I think that's got something to it.
I think because of the budget for Sliders, they made it too much like their universe. Many times they run into themselves and all that stuff. Mine was just in your head, so I went extremely fantastical all the time. But they did run into one of themselves at one point. I was going to keep it very rare, like once every 10 or 12 games or something like that. Yeah.
Well, there's one point where in Sliders, I think it's like the second to last season, that Wade doesn't realize it, and he ends up like dating a version of himself.
Yes.
And then she ends up being like a real bad guy.
Yeah, if he was a female universe. Yeah, that's really weird.
Yeah.
But it is, and my people couldn't resist. They had like this thing that happened to them. They couldn't choose to stay. They would get sucked into the portal. So, it was a little bit different, but yeah.
By the way, thank you, Evan. I think I just passed the 1-year anniversary of having my beard. So
nice.
Beardiversary.
Beardiversary.
All right. So mine number 3. Sorry to step all over your universe, and so it just made me think of telling you a whole story about the same type of universe.
He's not sorry, Sam. He's not sorry.
Mine number 3 is definitely one I would not want to live in. It looks cold and empty and desolate and hungry. But I bet you it would be a really cool story. And one of the reasons why I say that, I bragged about this before. It is a brag. I worked on a role-playing game for Jamie Stegmaier for a little while for Scythe. And because of that, he gave me a whole bunch of information that's never been released about this universe. So I have all that in my head, and it's amazing. It's like unbelievable, and I hope someday he releases even more stuff. Now, I know a lot of it went into what's it called? It starts with an F. The Scythe campaign game.
Fenris.
Fenris, yeah. I know a lot of chunks of it went into there. I don't know how much went in there because I never finished it. I need to finish it. But there was some really awesome, cool, like Tesla magic stuff going on and things that you don't even get into in Scythe and stuff. And I would love to see that. So
awesome. So what do we have to send you from Louisville to get all of the details?
Can't share them, unfortunately. Because, he can still make stuff, hopefully.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's cool.
And as far as I know, it's all in Fenris. I haven't finished it, so.
Fenris is a good campaign. It's a good story.
Very cool. But yeah, I since I know about a lot of that stuff and I know it sucks to like not share stuff, but it's more than just starving people out in the middle of a wheat field with giant robots walking by. So
yeah, we've talked about this. I think this box cover on a previous episode, where like that, like there's just a lot going on that picture right there, right? Like I want to know more about what's going on, and when you play the game, you get a little bit of it, but your mind starts creating that movie of what the hell's going on there, and it's just really even the cards in the game and the aesthetic of the game. Like every time you see a new card, regardless if you're playing base or playing, the campaign, like there's just so much in there that's so cool. It's such a neat overlap of stuff. Expeditions is good.
Expedition touches a little bit into it too, with like the I forget what they call it, like the meteorite stones or something that have power in them and all. And there's something interesting about all the factions that you play in Scythe. The people have their own companion animal. There's more to it than just them having a pet. It's almost like a ranger companion thing. Like they can almost communicate with them. They're buddies and friends and stuff. So you could imagine if you watched some kind of Game of Thrones version in this world, you'd have these characters with their animals and all this stuff. It'd be fascinating to me. So, yep.
Yeah,
Scythe is my number 3.
Like what Eric said, right? The alternate history. Like, think
Yeah.
of Superman Red Sun. Like, if he had come down in the whole premise of that is if he came down in Russia rather than Kansas, like there's this alternate storyline of what Superman would have been, and it's kind of cool to think about that. It's the whole multiverse thing, like the pleasures of the multiverse, like thinking about what if, or the what if series. Like it's fun.
Yep. Yeah, I miss this game too. I have a hard time getting my group to get to play it because they always think of it as like this big combat game, and it doesn't even need to be, right?
You don't have to at all.
But I know. But I play it on Steam all the time, and at least I get to play it that way. But I hardly ever get I have to use my birthday as an excuse to get people to play this game. I need more friends that like Scythe, or local friends that like Scythe. So.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's my number 3. What's yours, Mike?
Good pick. All right, well, I'm going to continue down my release year story, and this one brings me to my little bit of a caveat. So I said major IPs, right? Batman, Marvel, whatever. But this one...
All right, Batman animated series. Got it.
Nope. No, I leave that out.
Oh.
I leave it out.
Okay.
This one apparently has a series and has a big... I know nothing of the series. I didn't read any of the books before I played the game. I love this game. This game, it's so well done, and it's so cool to think about because what they did is they turned a little bit on its head. It's The Reckoners by Brandon Sanderson. So the book series exists, and then there's this game, but I know nothing of the book series. I just know the game. And the idea is everyone who's super powered that has powers are evil. And all the good guys just need to use like deductive reasoning and science to try and figure out what their weaknesses are in order to defeat them. So as far as I know, and I don't know how far the series goes, but all of the main characters in the story, they're all just regular humans that have like, they're really good at sniping or they're really good at like fighting or whatever it is, right? Everyone that's in it that has a power is bad, and you're trying to stop what's going on. So it's a future story. You're in New Chicago, I think, like, Chicago, but in the future is one of the, like, where this all takes place, or where some of this takes place. But I love the concept of that, where all like, you're just regular people trying to solve these things. The game is great. I love the game, but I love that idea of taking something like Wicked, like taking something that but just turning it on its head. And this does that. Like, no good guys have any sort of powers. They're just really good at science.
Sounds kind of like The Boys.
So I didn't realize there was a board game of this, and I also didn't know this book was a Bryan Sanderson book. So when me and my wife go on road trips, she likes to pick an audiobook for us to listen to.
Right.
And this is one of the audiobooks that she chose for us to listen to. And it was good.
Nice.
And definitely some interesting twists in this universe. And I think there's a sequel. So I still need to look for that sequel, because you just brought this back up into mine. And man, that was fun.
They did a great job. The game itself, the gameplay, I mean, it's a longer game. There's some setup to it, but once you get going, the way the dice system works and how you're picking your dice, it's got kind of a Yahtzee style where you have your dice pool and you roll, and you must keep at least one. and then you can re-roll everything else, and then you must keep at least one, and then whatever you roll is whatever. But all the different symbols are all doing different things, and then based on the game state, you got this threat management thing going on, where there's these the soldiers or the blockades or barricades or whatever they call them, and then you have this main board of like you're just trying to keep civilization up. If too many people die, you lose. But you have to, every villain that comes out there, they have a health track and they have like a science track, and in order to defeat them, you research the science in order to be able to hit them. Or if you just want to hit them, it's just going to take you longer. So by doing the research, you can affect it quicker. But with Steelheart, the main bad, you physically can't attack him until you've done all the research on what can hurt him. So like it's really got this push and pull of just doing the work to get the stuff done. It sounds amazing.
That's a cool way to represent what he did in the book. So I really like how that's translated, because in the book, it really feels like a mystery of just why this one supervillain out there just has zero weakness.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
That's cool. They did a great job. Plus the production value of this game is bonkers. Like the trays that are in it, even if you get the deluxe version, it's got the metal bits to it, the metal cylinder, the metal square, whatever, and that's got, a tactile feel to it. But the retail edition of it with the acrylic, the colors pop, the bits pop, like everything about this game was just so well done. If you haven't played it, play it. It's a good one. And every time someone in the community just played it and posted a picture of it, and it reminded me that I need to play this game. They did an expansion. I never touched it. The base game itself was it's just super cool. It's just a
bring it in
game.
April.
Okay.
If you can teach it.
Yeah, easy. I just set up and turn order, and then I'm good. It's a good one.
Very nice.
Actually, I think I played it with Bobby at the gathering 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. I brought it. It's a good one. Yeah, it's a heavier one, but you don't need it. You don't need. I think the $100 one was for the deluxe component, like the metal components. You don't. I think you can grab it for 60 or 70 with the acrylic. You don't need all the bits. I mean, it's nice, but I would prefer the acrylics over the metal. I think the acrylics just have more color to it.
All right, let's go to our next one.
Oh, wait!
So Mike did 100% cheat. Like that was a Brian Sanderson universe. That is not a board game universe.
It's true. That's true.
I said it was my caveat, and in doing the research, so that one came out in 2018. In doing the research, because I was knocking down all the artists that did the art for this stuff, it says Miguel Coimbra as the artist. There it doesn't.
Huh.
There it doesn't. I think that
I don't think it has the artist's name on the cover.
Isn't it art on the right there on the bottom?
No, I think those are just two of the designers, right?
Oh, it looked like it was a little paintbrush. But yeah, Miguel Coimbra was written.
Yeah, those are the two designers.
Perfect. So, and then going farther down the rabbit hole, I had no idea. One, he did that because Miguel is the artist on Tales of Myth and Legend. Mm-hmm. He also did Cargo Noir, Federation, From the Moon, Hyperborea, Imhotep, and Small World. I had no idea. Yeah. All big world type of games, right? I mean, maybe Imhotep you can say is a little bit smaller. Although it's massive, I get if you think of the whole country. But yeah, like those worlds, what he's played in, what he's been able to do is it's pretty epic.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to number 2, Sam.
ISS Vanguard.
Oof, geez, that's a small world.
Mentioned earlier, definitely a sci-fi fan. And this is really a universe that is telling a story of my favorite type of sci-fi story. Once again, kind of a frontier story. I guess I'm finding out that I'm really inclined to universes that have a frontier out there. This one, I haven't actually finished the game, so I don't know all the details of the universe. But the details of the universe that I know, the hidden genetic code going on out there that they're exploring into while journeying out into the unknown with the alien technology that they've discovered. The concept of that universe is definitely a universe that agrees with me. Of course, if I was living in this universe, the likelihood that I was on the ISS Vanguard would be very low. And seeing how all of my crew are apparently red shirts, it would not be a good ship to live on anyways.
Nice.
But still, very, very cool universe to me.
I backed this complete as like the deluxe pack and all that. I have not gotten a chance to dig into it, so I have all these boxes just stacked into my game room, right? But this is one of the few that I accidentally backed twice. So I have an entire box. It was an expensive one to back twice. So I have an entire unopened shipped box of it. So if you're looking for anybody to buy one,
I only have the base game.
If I break it up, then I can't sell it. It's a big one chunk.
Well, I could probably do something with the base game, so maybe we'll talk.
All right, cool.
We'll see how things go tomorrow. If I'm flush with cash, you might get a call.
Go back that game. No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I got the other one that you did. I think it's over there by
Yeah.
Grover.
Yeah, I did it with Vindication as well. Yeah. That one was funny because I backed it whenever it was on a campaign. And then almost like a year later, I met the designer and he told me about his game. I said, that sounds fantastic, because I totally forgot that I backed it. And he was like, oh, well, we got it where you can go into the thing and order it, the pledge manager thing. So I went and did it and got 2 games.
Wasn't ISS Vanguard the first GameFound game?
Awaken Realms. Was it the first one?
I don't know. For some reason, that pops in my head that it was the first game on GameFound.
It took a while to make.
Sure.
I know that. I don't think it was the first GameFound delivered game.
No. I think it was the first one that was on their when they launched. It was the first one.
Well, I know Awaken Realms was first on GameFound, but I don't know if that was the game. It might have been. Yeah, I'm not arguing against.
Is this Awaken Realms?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, I think this is the one. Maybe not.
Could be.
It's a big one though. That cover is beautiful.
Yeah.
Everything in this game is beautiful.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, Matty P. Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
love the cover.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I really I like the universe as well. The idea of going out, and I think there. In fact, speaking of the other one, Orange Nebula games with the other one, they have something similar with Unsettled, right? Like the go out and discover these, explore with all that stuff. Space exploration is pretty cool.
It really kind of highlights it's really kind of a hybrid of 2 sci-fi concepts that I've really enjoyed. So you got like the Stargate universe series.
Yep.
And then also matched up with a TNG. I think it was a 2-parter episode where they're like puzzling this deal going on with the genetic code of the species out there. And I haven't finished it, so I'm not going into spoiler territory. But it pulls some really cool sci-fi concepts that have been in other things, but it's just like a universe made all up of just what I feel is the best like science fiction there.
That's pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah, good pick. What's my number 2? Oh, okay. So my number 2 is I am pulling 2 games from the same company.
Ooh.
Same designer too, I believe. Hold on, let me double check real quick. Designer. Yep, same designer. In fact, they were almost on top of each other. I would love to see a series based on this. I think it could be like very Games of Thrones-y, again, to throw that out. But Euphoria has basically four different places that you could have things going on, right? So I wonder if they have the board in the pictures here. Well, that's the board without any of the stuff on top. So basically there's this blissful, all the rich people living up in the world up here, and then you got the farming community here. You have the whole energy city community here, and then you have this whole underground mining world. So you could jump from group to group and watch what's going on between them. Of course, the people rising up against the people above and all that. You could have such great stories in this universe. I even like in the game itself, as they start digging down here, they start finding a way to steal from the people below, and at the same time these people are like digging up to steal from the people above, or it's vice versa. It's a fascinating world that it'd be cool to like dig into even more. So
I get very Arcane vibes from thinking about this game with the different levels in Arcane.
Yeah.
Eric just said the same thing.
Yeah, it's very Arcane. Like Arcane has the rich side, and then the what do they call that? The underground, the underworld, or whatever they. Yeah, Art Deco vibes. Yeah, I think Jacqueline Smith is the artist for, at least for the people in here and stuff. And I really liked her work from this. Dice. I have a second set of dice for this too. They sent it to me by accident. So.
Nice.
I have such weird, and there's going to be 100. What do they call them? Prototype pictures, because they always show you the ones that are liked most. Yeah. But yeah, Euphoria would be a fascinating world to dive into. Again, I do not want to live there. Maybe in the Bliss side, but
I don't know if you'd be able to pick. I think you'd have to roll a D4 and see where you end up.
No, I'm not living there.
Yeah.
Because I'm not farming peaches all day.
Peaches are good.
Yeah, that's my number 2.
Good pick.
Here's Mike.
That's a good one. All right, so traveling from 18 Reckoners. I'm going to go to 2019. So the year after. And I just think, now that I can't get out of my head thinking about having it be a series. But I think it would be fun to, this is stay there for a week kind of thing. Taverns of Tiefenthal.
Nice.
I think that would be a blast. The characters, bartending for 4 years, you see some shit. And most of them are just characters in a story. And I think this would have the same thing. Every time somebody sits down at a table and you're trying to satisfy the order, that's just a character in the story. So a fantasy version of Cheers would be just killer.
Okay, I would watch that. I would definitely watch that.
Right. So yeah, it's got your fantasy. If you do your fantasy tropes, it's living in that. In my head anyway, that's where it's living. It's also a fantastic game.
Sam is the old retired adventurer. He's famous and all that.
But Norm would come in and he'd have his battle axe. He'd lean up against the bar and sit at the same.
He's a dwarf. Yeah.
Once Chris Pine washes out and just has to go to TV, can we just get the D&D movie spun off into that? And that's what he's doing now. Is he's running a tavern?
Yes. Gorm, and it's a dwarf comes in. It's I would totally watch that. A great game too. I love this game.
Super fun. Another one that has an expansion, the thought put into it to make sure the expansion fit on top of the art fit on top of the box. It's just I think it would be really fun. You're running, you're running a tavern. I'd go there, but it also looks like one of those themed out bed and breakfasts or something that you could go and stay out for a little while and explore.
You just want to go drink.
Yes. Yep.
Meet in the morning because you can't drink the water.
I'm in.
Yep.
So yeah, I think this would be a fun one.
Nice
Because
pick.
you can name, like, none of the characters have names. Like, you just name the characters. Like, you can just have fun with this one.
Cozy.
Okay, what's going on with the puzzle board? I'm now very interested in gameplay.
The
Oh, have
puzzle
you not
board?
played this one?
No.
Oh, it's great.
Oh.
There's, like, your upgrades. Like, when you do a certain thing, you take the
Okay.
piece and you upgrade it.
Cool.
Yeah, you start off like this, and then when you upgrade that spot, you just pick up the puzzle and spin it around. Very
Okay.
clean, very
Yeah.
easy to use.
Nice.
But it's a deck builder, essentially. You have your deck right here, and every round you pull out cards to see who comes to your tavern.
Mm.
And sometimes you'll pull out people who give you more dice over here, who wash your dishes, bring beer to the thing. But once your tavern fills up with all of your people, that's when you have to stop. So, and then you can buy more cards to go into your deck, which go on top of your deck, which is key. It's like, why do we ever have deck builders that put stuff in your discard from now on? It's so much better to get the card that you want and put it on top, right?
Okay, can you please yell at Evan because he just ruined Button Kingdoms?
What?
Oh,
What? What do you say?
No, they did go on the top of the deck, or at least some of them.
Oh,
and Evan said no, put him in your discard?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, he left. I forgot. He had to go to sleep. So
We'll drill him. We'll drill him when it comes
we'll yell
back.
at him later.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a great game. I really enjoy it.
cool.
Yeah, I don't think
And
I played anything by Wolfgang that's bad. His thought process in gaming is phenomenal.
I have not played the expansion. Have you played the expansion? I haven't even gotten it because this game is so good. I'm like, it doesn't need it.
Yeah.
Yep. It's one of those. It's like a compliment without buying your expansion is hard. But that's how good it is. Yeah.
That's like Quacks with the witches or the herb witches or whatever it is. Like I don't think I've ever played Quacks with any, because it's got so much replay in it to begin with. Like just with the ingredients that you're using and how they're double sided. Like I've never had a need to play the expansion on that one.
Yeah, this is my favorite of his games. Yeah.
Just haven't played it.
All right, so we're down to number 1. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
What's your number 1, Sam?
That's right. It's back to me. So my number 1, I mentioned Manny Vega and how I love the look of his stuff. So, and what I didn't mention though is I have a great love of dragons, specifically as friends. We are going with Flamecraft.
Yep, that's the one I thought I'd take from you. I waited because it came out in 22, so I put it. It's at the end. That was.
Do you not believe I misspelled Flamecraft?
Yeah. So you don't get better than artisanal dragons. Just dragon friends going out there doing good dragon things instead of scary dragon things. Mm-hmm. The dragons are a bit small. So while I'm a huge sci-fi fan, I'm also like my favorite movie, if I'm going to be honest, if we go really dirty pleasures, would be Dragonheart: A New Beginning. So
wow.
So that kind of leans into my whole personality there with dragons. But Flamecraft, yeah, that's a world. If I could just see a dragon in every single shop and work alongside a dragon, that'd be solid. That's a universe to live in.
Yeah, as many of you know, I work for Cardboard Alchemy. I'm working on the expansions for this right now. I'm also working on the next 2 games that are coming out in this universe. So it's about to get expanded really big. There's I'm seeing all the artwork for all of it too, like every day. Sandara is a machine. She's just like making tons of it and stuff. And I can't wait for everybody to see it. It's great. Yeah, there's a lot to this world too. So
I agree with you, Sam. This is the one that I was going to talk about. I think being able to go into a bread shop and having the dragon there, or meat shop, and like it just looks like a nice, fun, cozy kind of town. Also, and again, to Chris's point, like if this was a series, like the dragons have named, like it's a Smurf village, but dragons, like it's just, this is a good one. Good pick.
Now there would be a little bit of a concern. just my relationship with my dog means I'm not going to be overly concerned by it. But, if the dragon's cooking your bread by breathing fire on it, you're going to deal with some dragon drool on your bread.
Oh, sure. No, there's a distance from his mouth and the flame, like the distance the flame comes out.
It gets
you
burnt
got to
off.
project really hard to get that flame going that far, though.
It gets burnt off.
Fair enough.
It's a great world. It's a great world to work in. I've been enjoying it. I have to date in the last 2 months, I have just finished my 39th test play of Flamecraft. So yeah, I'm deep in the plateau. Yeah, deep in the world.
Good pick.
Yep, good pick. I can't argue. Otherwise, I lose my job.
I can't. It's on my list. Well done.
Your check's in the mail? No. All right. So my number one.
That's true.
There you go. Yeah. I actually think he's spitting into the oven, and then he's like putting the bread thing in there. So
Makes sense.
all right. So my number one is we kind of already talked about this. My only space one, but I picked it mainly because of the exploration. It's Merchant of Venus.
Oof. Yeah, you immediately would implode in that one.
Oh, I'd be lost in space and starve to death.
Yeah.
Or something.
Jesus.
But the idea is that you go out into the galaxy, and every planet you go to, there's some new species, and they have this whole new thing that they want to sell to you, and they want to buy other stuff, and you're going around, buying and selling between each one. But the exploration of those species is really the most fun part to me. We played a version. Yeah, I know it's house roll. We played a version of this with a house roll that my brother came up with, where the hardest part of the game is the navigation. So do they have the board in here? I could show. Yeah. So this board right here, I think I talked about this before. This board right here, you're having to roll dice and apply them onto your board to say how far you can go. And so you can get like a red engine technology that lets you skip all the red spots, or yellow one to skip the yellow, or a red yellow one to just fly between them, right? But there's these little spots here that say if you don't put a die on your board that is a certain number, you don't get to pick which way you go. It shoots you off in a random spot. So we got rid of that. it just, kind of frustrated us and all that stuff. So we got rid of the frustration thing. But yeah, when you go to each one of these cards right here, you don't know which alien species it is till you get there.
That's cool.
That kind of exploration thing to me is really fun. Living the Serenity Firefly kind of life between those alien. It's like that, but with the alien species, right? That kind of thing seems really fun. You could have a great show with that. So
I never played this one.
Yeah, I wonder. I can bring one game for us to play in April, and we'll have to figure out which one that should be, because I think you'd have fun with this one. The problem with this game is that I've only once finished it.
Wow.
It's
all right.
It's 30 rounds, and if you play with 4 people, you're talking like 6 hours.
Wow, Jesus. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Now with our edit to the movement, it was a lot faster, but yeah. So that's the unfortunate part about it. It's one of the long ones, but
Okay.
But we'll have to pick which one I bring. I'm thinking about Path of Light and Shadows for bringing it in case John said it with him.
I have that. I'll find my copy, but I have it.
No. Well, then bring it since you're driving. I'm flying.
Correct.
Because we could play with John.
That's true.
That'd be really cool.
That would be very cool.
I asked him to play last year, and he said he didn't have it. So, but yeah, off in space, doing space things.
Cool.
That's my number one.
Nice.
Mike?
Good one. All right. Well, since Flamecraft was taken, I'm going to go to my next one. which would be the most recent 2024. I just played it last week. For those that know me, I love Ireland. I think Ireland is beautiful. I love the history. I love looking at a castle that's been there for quite a long time, whereas in, our country, it's 1700. There, it's 700. And this game has both Ireland and Scotland, which is the next place I want to visit. It's called Rebirth. I love the art. I'm not going to try and pronounce their last names, but Anna and Kate did a phenomenal job with that art. One of the reasons I love it so much is that in the foreground, down by the Mighty Boards logo, that dilapidated castle, we have family over there, and across the street from one of their houses is a hill with part of a castle that looks just like that. Like, you can see the window, you can see where the floor joists were. Like, you can still see you walk around it. Like, it's absolutely beautiful. And I love the art. I love the theme of this one, where you're kind of rebuilding based on nature. Like, you're trying to lean in, like, civilization's fucked, and now we're trying to rebuild, and you're rebuilding with nature in mind rather than screwing over the planet. You're trying to work with the planet. Mm-hmm. And it was super, like, really well done. I think the game, double-sided board, which I love, because why have just a black side of a board when you can do something different? And they didn't just make it a harder map. They actually added something else to it. So in Ireland, you're dealing with cathedrals. In Scotland, you're dealing with public objectives, and you're using the cathedral pieces instead of them going on the map. You're using them on the public objectives. But it's really fun. It's really easy. You can play it up and playing it really quickly. We immediately played the Scotland side, which I guess is after you've played this a couple times, play Scotland. We played Scotland right out of the gate, and there's a lot more to it than it seems. Like, it seems super simple. But then with the public objectives, I think there were 8 of them. So there's 8 different things you're trying to remember to do on your map when you're placing your tokens. It's a little restrictive, where you draw one of, like, if you're the blue player, also they have orange as a player, and the orange character is the orange logo is a fox. So, like, that was perfect. When you're playing, you have one of your, so if you're orange and you're waiting to go, you have that orange bit in your hand. Hey, Andrew. You have that orange bit in your hand. That's the one you're going to play when it's your turn. There's no choice. You don't have, like, you have 2 and you're selecting one. It's at the end of your turn. You're going to draw randomly a token, and that's the token you're playing the next time it's your turn. So it's a little restrictive in what you have to play, but you have the entire board to play with. And everyone else is also doing their own thing on the board. So you're stepping on each other's feet a little bit. You can definitely be a little nasty and take things away from people. But I loved on the Ireland board is castles I've been to. Like, it's just fun. And the idea of this being like the rebirth, like a reimagining is not a word, a reimaging of, like, a future civilization based on, like, the planet going to shit. I love this one. So
very cool.
Yep.
This this idea of the animal dress, what is it called? Personification, anthropomorphization, whatever it is. That whole thing came to mind whenever I was looking at this. I think and a lot of people kind of are starting to say this, and videos are starting to get burnt out of that stuff in games. But I still enjoy those worlds and stuff. They're just not in my top 5. It's probably be like, 7.
Well, when I was looking through my collection, and I was looking, like, these are all games I own. So I tried to keep it to games I've not only played, but games I actually own. And on the top of one of my piles is Maple Valley. I was like, oh yeah, their worlds are great. And then I thought about it just another second. It'd be pretty weird if I stepped into their world where they're all animals and I'm a human. Like,
you would turn into a beaver or something.
But that's not part of the rules, so I don't know that, right?
I really want to know how they react to Mike stepping into the world, just as a person. And because they're all. Do they have any larger fauna in that world, or is everything just like houses are all knee high now?
I think they're all pretty small. Yeah.
Yeah. So Mike is a giant, just crushing everything. It's anti-King of Tokyo.
Right.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
As soon as Mike steps in the creature comfort world.
You're the kaiju.
No, it's funny Andrew brought that up because literally on the top of the stack is Maple Valley, and I thought about it, and then I thought like it would just be a little if we were in that universe. If I go and because my idea was going to visit these universes, right? Like I'd fit in, even though seasons that you have your mages, you have your whatever, so like it would still fit in there. But that was one that I thought about, and then because any one of those would fit, right? Creature comforts, any of the ones that they have coming up that are in that world. And the ones that they've done, it'd be cute, but it'd be weird stepping in there for me.
That's very cool. These are definitely some great honorable mentions, though.
I just got Splendid Vale.
Splendid
I'm very curious on that one.
Creature Comforts, Maple Valley.
Yep.
I almost did this one, and I'm not just saying that because Matt's in here. I almost did this one because you could do something really cool with some stories going from village to village and stuff like that.
That makes me think of Santa's Workshop too now. Like that'd be fun. I'd go visit Santa's Workshop. Yeah.
So Mike's number one reminded me of an honorable mention that didn't make my list because I haven't played it, so I don't know the universe well enough, but I own it. It's on my shelf of shame. It's Mistwind. It's skyships and flying whales. That's definitely a universe that I would like to experience.
That's
unless you're under the well when it forgets how to fly. Sure.
Or after it's had too much to eat.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, there are a lot of great ones.
Beautiful. That's Daryl and Adrian. I played that. That was a messenger pigeon game first, and then it was a cruise ship game after. And when they signed it, whoever did the art, they had this world created with these whales and these ships. And when they were pitching or afterwards, Daryl was like, "What is that?" And they started talking about what that was, like the art and the world that they had created. And then it was a marriage at that point.
Yeah.
I stayed away from anything that's close to history, and I would think the Raiders in the North Sea is basically just Vikings, right?
Yeah.
My honorable mentions would be Abyss. I think that could be a really interesting universe to explore more of. And Dwellings of Eldervale, even though I worked on it, caveat, blah, blah, blah. Seems like you could go all kinds of places with that, with all the different factions.
Yeah, you'd be in the grave for sure.
Oh, yeah. Dead in all of them. Well, I can't swim, so I'm definitely dead in Abyss.
Oh, man, you're out. The only one I have is probably not a surprise. I put two in the same row just in case, but it was Viticulture and Vinos, because it'd be neat to live on a vineyard and make wine.
Isn't that this world? You just want to move to Napa?
Yeah, that'd be fine. But I would go there. But also, I mean, this world doesn't have Ian O'Toole art, or this world doesn't have Jackie Davis and Beth Sobel art. So like they create a nice cozy atmosphere to live in. Whereas like I don't want to move to I'd move to Italy before I move to Napa Valley.
Is this the intervention episode? Because all of yours are like, I want to go here to drink and I want to go here to drink.
Nope. I'm not drinking now. I don't have a problem.
Top 5 best games to drink in. Not drink while playing.
That's a different list. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the next one. I can do that one for sure.
All right. Well, I already feel bad for keeping you for a long time right before your campaigns. Both of you, really. But I know, Sam, you got to put in a lot of work still. So why don't we start wrapping up, saying thank you to everybody who came along with us and looked at all these universes. Yeah, I kept D&D off because I went more. I thought of that as being a universe IP outside of just board games. So yeah. Otherwise, there's already cool stories there. But is there anything you want to tell people? Obviously, about the campaign, it's going to be happening, 10 hours, 8 hours from now or something?
Oh, yeah. It's just a handful of hours. Yeah. No, Button Kingdoms, a game of fluff and corruption. It is a deck builder with a market unlike any market that at least the reviewers have seen and I've seen before. So it's definitely supposed to be a special take. If you're into that, or you're into the theme of kids making an imagined world with where they're stuffed animals or units that they're using in battle as they try to seize each other's thrones from each other. If you like cute artwork of stuffed animals and pets dressed like mythical beasts, it's definitely worth checking out. Going live at whatever time in the morning.
In the morning. Yeah.
9 Eastern.
Yeah, 9 a.m. Eastern. So it's been fun to work on, and thank you to everybody who's helped me out and play testing. And Mike was really encouraging when I faced down moments in the process. There's always down moments when you're working on a game, right? So there's always the ups and downs. You feel like, hey, I'm a game designer 1 minute, and then 30 seconds later, somebody says something, and all of a sudden you're like, why am I doing this? Because clearly I am not qualified to make the decisions that I have made. And then you get past it. So
can't listen to those people.
It's been cool. Special thanks to Evan Halbert. He was in the chat earlier, but he was we'll say developer adjacent. He wasn't a developer on the game, but he did so much playtesting and so much feedback that is as close to a developer as I've worked with so far. So
very nice.
Yep.
And you were on, for those, I mean, we're good friends with the Rundown folks. So for those that are familiar with their show, last Wednesday or the Wednesday before?
It might have been the Wednesday before. I think it was like 3 Wednesdays ago. I did the board game rundown stuff really early because, Wednesday.
They're better. Yeah.
Well, also Wednesdays typically don't work out for me. So it's like I have 5 Wednesdays available every year. And so that happened to be one of them. So, yeah.
Well, go hunt down that episode, because on that episode, Sam talked about how the name of his company, Around the Stump, came to be, and it's a really cool story. So go find that. Don't do it here. Make them go do the hunt to find out. But it's a cool story.
No, talked about that, and the board game rundown guys. Those guys were fun to hang out with, and so man, super glad to be doing what I'm doing in the industry, and hope to keep on doing it. So hopefully, Kickstarter says yes.
We'll be there for sure. Wednesday, Chris, this is my reminder for you. Wednesday, we are on the rundown.
This Wednesday? Oh, we should have said that in the announcements, right?
I just remembered it. This Wednesday, we are on the rundown talking about bad production in games or something. Something you're going to have fun with.
I got nothing to say. I love all games.
Uh-huh.
We'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sam, always a pleasure, man. Good luck on everything. I'm sure it's going to do great. Thanks for taking the time the night before you go live.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for watching, and we will maybe not be here next Monday. Don't freak out if we aren't. We'll try it, but we'll see.
Perfect.
No promises this time, but usually all other Mondays promise.
Perfect. I love it.
Right.
Oh, Andrew, how you doing, buddy?
And check out the links down below for both campaigns coming out.
Yeah, big day. Both of our eyes are big. Mine's on Game Found, or not mine, but the Van Ryder one is on Game Found. Sure. But both of our eyes are going to be on crowdfunding chaos starting at 9 a.m. for Sam.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure I'll have less hair next time you see me going through a Kickstarter.
It's the best look.
Yeah, I'm just trying to catch up to Chris.
Stick with the show. Awesome. You'll get there.
Thanks, everybody.
See ya.